The tale commences with a hunter locked in combat against monstrous adversaries. Amidst the fray, an eagle-like beast swoops down upon the hunter, only to meet its end swiftly at the hunter's hands. This hunter, renowned as Valt, bears the moniker of the immortal crow and is feared far and wide for his prowess. As Raven dispatches the monsters, thoughts of freedom tantalize him, for a mere 15 days remain until potential liberation. Determined, Raven envisions his escape from this perilous existence. The narrative then transitions to the campsite of the Rakshasa units, where Raven seeks refuge. Reflecting on the past decade, each day is felt akin to hell. The Rakshasa units, stationed in a realm embroiled in perpetual conflict with monsters, is regarded as a lowly unit, its ranks filled with societal outcasts, slaves, and criminals. It's a place where life holds little value, inhabited by individuals who have resigned themselves to their fate. Overheard conversations among a few men lament Raven's leadership, attributing the deaths of his comrades to his decisions once again. In the aftermath, Raven emerges as the lone survivor once again, prompting whispers among his peers about his remarkable resilience despite his aristocratic background. A confrontation ensues when a man confronts Raven about his unresponsiveness to calls, to which Raven responds with a smirk, questioning the man's eagerness for a swift demise. With a swift kick to the stomach, Raven asserts his dominance before drawing his sword, poised at the man's throat. Yet, in a surprising turn, Raven relents, retracting his blade and shoving the man to the ground before departing. Within the confines of the Rakshasa unit's camp, tales circulate about Raven's unlikely journey, a former nobleman who has defied the odds, surviving a decade in a unit notorious for its high mortality rate. These whispers hold truth, for Raven was indeed once a scion of the esteemed Valt family, albeit not among the most illustrious. However, the fickle hand of fate stripped Raven of his status and possessions, leaving him to navigate the harsh realities of his new existence. The narrative then delves into events a decade prior, when the Valt family faced damning accusations of plotting against the Empire. As the Empire's forces dismantled the family, Raven, too, found himself ensnared by the guards. In a fervent plea, he vehemently denies his family's alleged treachery, insisting they were innocent victims of a larger conspiracy. However, an Empire knight rebuffs Raven's defense, chiding him for his family's purported transgressions. Despite Raven's protestations, the knight reveals that the Valt lineage, save for Raven himself, has been extinguished. In a surprising turn, the knight offers Raven a proposition: endure 10 years of service within the Rakshasa units, and his life shall be spared. Raven is taken aback by the unexpected reprieve. Meanwhile, among the nobility, laughter erupts at the notion of a nobleman like Raven being consigned to the Rakshasa units, a unit regarded as the Empire's lowest, filled with criminals and societal outcasts. The nobles ponder how such a fate could befall one of their own. The nobles anticipate the demise of the Valt family, yet Valt defies expectations with a resolute decision. Meeting the knight's gaze, Raven solemnly inquires if surviving 10 years of monster slaying is all that's required. The knight confirms, promising Raven freedom thereafter. Determinedly, Raven pledges to not only survive but also resurrect the Valt lineage. Returning to the present, Raven contemplates the imminent end of his indignity. Since joining the unit, he has faced monsters devoid of training or experience, merely striving to endure. Over the span of a decade, Raven, once a mere youth, has ascended to become the Rakshasa unit's premier monster hunter. With the next monster purge slated to be his last, Raven believes freedom and the restoration of his family lie within reach. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the Ancona forest in the Pendragon Duchy, where a white dragon addresses a yellow-haired noble. The dragon forewarns of the dwindling time before a pact is fulfilled, setting an ominous tone for what lies ahead. Dragons, revered as the mightiest creatures on Earth, hold a unique status among monsters. Only one family possesses the power to subdue these formidable beasts, the Pendragon ducal family. Renowned for their ability to tame dragons, the Pendragons wield immense political influence, ranking among the Empire's most prestigious noble houses. As the narrative shifts to 13 days before Valt's impending pardon, he enters the command tent of Balti, the Rakshasa unit's commanding officer. Balti questions Raven's solitary return once again, seeking a report on the reconnaissance mission. Raven reports a significant concentration of monsters ahead, warning of the dire consequences if they unite with their main forces. Balti acknowledges the peril, conceding that the Rakshasa units alone stands little chance against such odds. However, hope arrives in the form of the Pendragon ducal family. Balti reveals that they will come to their aid tomorrow, bolstering their ranks against the impending threat. The prospect of Pendragon assistance brings a glimmer of optimism amidst the looming danger. Furthermore, the Pendragon family is bringing along one of the most powerful creatures known to mankind, a dragon. Startled by this revelation, Raven questions Balti as to why such a mythical being would deign to fight alongside them. Balti assures Raven of the truth, explaining that the Pendragons have mastered the art of subduing dragons across generations. It appears that the white dragon will be tasked with vanquishing the monsters. Raven reflects on the Pendragon's significance. Not only do they boast royal lineage, but they also hold the highest noble rank in the Empire. While uncertain of the veracity of these claims, Raven ponders the Pendragon's rumored ability to command dragons, creatures bordering on legend. Despite a decade of confronting monsters, Raven has never encountered a dragon, leading him to question Balti's reliance on such tales. Moreover, rumors suggest that the Pendragon family's influence has waned since the demise of their predecessors. Raven remains skeptical, unsure whether to believe in the Pendragon's supposed power. Raven expresses his distrust of the Pendragons to Balti, who dismisses Raven's concerns, citing it as an order. Balti reassures Raven that he won't be required to fight the following day. Perplexed, Raven queries Balti's intentions, to which Balti explains that with a dragon on their side, it's wise to let the dragon handle the monsters while Raven guards the Pendragon child. Raven seeks clarification on whether this task is sufficient. Balti emphasizes the importance of Raven sticking by the Pendragon child's side at all costs. Raven acquiesces, agreeing to follow Balti's instructions. Balti then instructs Raven to personally greet the future Duke Pendragon. Approaching the Pendragon tent, Raven observes the family's flags, confirming their presence. He muses on their desperation in aiding the Rakshasa units. Despite the impending battle, Raven remains indifferent to the outcome, prioritizing his survival for a chance at pardon and freedom. Entering the tent, Raven calls out for the young lord. In response, he hears a voice that startles him, its otherworldly quality leaving Raven momentarily unsettled. Despite this, Raven offers an apology for his unannounced presence and seeks confirmation of the individual's identity as Lord Pendragon. The voice affirms Raven's suspicion, confirming his assumption. Requesting Raven's name and purpose, the voice prompts Raven to introduce himself as the captain of the 12th Division of the Rakshasa units. Raven explains that he's been tasked with guarding Lord Pendragon in the upcoming battle. However, before Raven can proceed further, the voice interrupts, dismissing the need for Raven's report and advising him to rest for the following day. Unperturbed, Raven hesitates to leave, prompting the voice to inquire if he has additional matters to address. Seizing the opportunity, Raven inquires about the absence of the dragon, questioning its crucial role in their combat strategy. The voice reassures Raven that the dragon will indeed assist them and bids him to depart. Accepting the instruction, Raven exits the tent, pondering the curious quietness of Lord Pendragon. He questions the likelihood of a nobleman venturing alone to a place like the Rakshasa units. Nevertheless, Raven resigns himself to the notion that their paths will likely never cross again after tomorrow's battle. The following day, Balti rallies the assembled forces, signaling the time to advance. Suddenly, an explosion rocks the scene, revealing the arrival of a white dragon. Raven is struck with awe at the sight. Alongside the dragon emerges Lord Pendragon, introducing himself as Eren Pendragon. With resolve, Eren declares the commencement of the monster extermination. The narrative shifts to the midst of the monster battle, with Raven diligently protecting Eren Pendragon. As a pack of wolf monsters closes in on them, Raven confides in Eren, admitting his unfamiliarity with combat while safeguarding others. He implores Eren to refrain from unnecessary movements. As the wolf monster launched its attack on Raven, he swiftly retaliated, effortlessly taking down the entire pack with a single, precise strike. Glancing skyward, he marvels at the dragon's effortless prowess, astonished that such a creature truly exists. Raven acknowledges the unmatched power of the white dragon, realizing that no monster can withstand its destructive capabilities. Despite the multitude of monsters, the dragon's intervention ensures a smoother battle than ever before. Raven attributes their success to the dragon's formidable presence, grateful for its assistance in turning the tide of the battle. Their victory seems almost certain, prompting Raven to consider himself fortunate that the last mission wasn't more challenging. As the white dragon touches down near Eren Pendragon, Raven inquires about their well-being, to which Eren reassures him that they are unharmed. Suddenly, eagle monsters descend from the sky, catching Raven's attention. Urging Eren to command the dragon, Raven is dismayed to find both Eren and the dragon with closed eyes. Raven notes the sizable presence of the eagle monsters, who launch a coordinated attack on the white dragon, which remains passive. Shocked by the dragon's lack of response, Raven cries out in disbelief, demanding to know why it isn't defending itself. Turning to Eren for answers, Raven is interrupted as more monsters emerge from the right side. Despite the dwindling numbers of monsters, Raven realizes there are still more than he anticipated. The situation becomes increasingly dire as their foes continue to multiply. Before Raven could react, the monsters launch an attack against both him and Eren. Raven reflects on the unmatched might of dragons, believing their presence ensured victory. However, he chastises himself for relying on such fantasies and being overconfident. As Raven opens his eyes, he's shocked to witness the dragon being overwhelmed by the monsters. Confusion grips him as he struggles to comprehend the sudden turn of events. As the monster advances toward Raven, he rises despite his injuries and swiftly dispatches his assailants with the aid of his sword. Feeling utterly drained, Raven acknowledges his deep wounds, knowing they won't heal instantly. He gazes at the fallen white dragon and himself with disdain, recognizing their shared foolishness. Approaching the dragon, Raven queries if it's truly deceased, receiving no response. His attention then turns to the injured Eren Pendragon lying nearby. Raven implores Eren to clarify why the dragon ceased its attack upon Eren's command. Frustrated, Raven insists that victory was within reach had the dragon continued fighting, pressing Eren for an explanation. Unexpectedly, Raven is struck from behind, sending him crashing to the ground. To his astonishment, the assailant is revealed to be Valt. Raven is left reeling from the betrayal. Suddenly, Valt commands the soldiers to charge and put an end to the chaos. Raven is stunned to see Valt ordering the Imperial forces into action. Valt dismisses Raven's surprise, citing the reality that some individuals wield ultimate control from the outset, while others blindly adhere to their decisions. In a shocking turn of events, Valt swiftly dispatches Eren Pendragon before Raven's eyes. Valt nonchalantly explains that Eren's fate was predetermined, leaving Raven bewildered. Turning his attention to Raven, Valt acknowledges Raven's exceptional combat skills and reveals that Raven possesses an extraordinary healing ability. Raven is astonished by this revelation and questions Valt's knowledge about him. Valt admits to feigning ignorance until now, lamenting the unfortunate circumstance that Raven, despite his immortal body, will meet his end today. Raven is left grappling with the grim reality of his impending demise. Faced with the realization that freedom and the restoration of his family seem increasingly out of reach, Raven reflects on the singular purpose that has driven him for the past decade. Despite his unwavering determination, he begins to feel the weight of his powerlessness and vulnerability. Raven resigns himself to the grim fate that awaits him in this desolate place, lamenting the cruel reality of his situation. In a surprising gesture, Valt offers Raven a revelation in his final moments. He discloses a shocking truth: the downfall of the Valt family, Raven's forced enlistment in the Rakshasa units, and the impending demise of both Raven and Eren Pendragon were all part of a meticulously orchestrated plan. Raven is stunned by this revelation, grappling with the implications of the manipulation that has shaped his fate. As Valt moves to execute Raven, the white dragon, previously believed to be defeated, opens her eyes. With a solemn declaration that all conditions have been met, the white dragon ascends into the sky. It proclaims that on this day, as the sun and moon converge, the pact will be fulfilled with the blood of 1,000 men and monsters, a dragon monarch, and a human monarch. As the dragon's head begins to glow, it gazes into the heavens and declares that the outcome now rests upon the dragon rider. Raven finds himself in a bewildering situation, questioning if he's even alive after recalling a sensation of his body contorting unnaturally. As Raven gradually awakens, the maid assisting him is taken aback by his stirring. With a gasp, she hastily rushes outside to spread the news that the young lord has regained consciousness. Meanwhile, Raven surveys his surroundings, noting the opulent furnishings of the unfamiliar room. Puzzled, he wonders about his location and how he came to be there. Raven encounters a butler named Melbon, who bursts into tears at Raven's awakening. The butler addresses Raven as the young lord and asks if he recognizes him. Puzzled, Raven inquires about the title, Young Lord, prompting the butler to reveal that they are in Conrad Castle, under the rule of Eren Pendragon, whom Raven apparently now embodies. Raven is struck with disbelief upon hearing this revelation. Hastily, he seeks confirmation by catching sight of his reflection in the nearby water, where the truth dawns upon him: he has somehow transformed into Eren Pendragon. The maid, Lindsay, inquires of young Lord Eren whether he recalls his identity. The butler interjects, expressing little surprise at Eren's confusion, given his 3-year-long unconsciousness. Eren is stunned by this revelation, realizing that 3 years have passed since the fateful battle. Inwardly, he recollects the moment when Balti took down Eren, an event etched vividly in Raven's memory. The realization dawns on him as he grapples with the implications of assuming another's identity. Raven's mind swirls with confusion and disbelief. He questions his own mortality, pondering the inexplicable return of the supposedly deceased Pendragon. News of Eren's awakening spread, drawing his mother, Lady Elena, to his side. Lindsay and the butler greeted Lady Elena with joy. As Elena walks towards Eren, he's shocked to see her simply walk through the woman blocking her path. The woman signals to Eren with a subtle gesture, indicating for him to keep her presence a secret. Elena embraced her son, prompting a query about his memory of her. Eren was utterly bewildered, unable to grasp the surreal events unfolding around him. Nothing seemed to align with logic or reason. Then, an elderly woman motioned towards the window, drawing Eren's attention to the side outside. There, amidst a flurry of gasps and startled murmurs, stood the majestic white dragon, Soldrake. Soldrake's thunderous roars reverberated through the room, sending shockwaves of disbelief through everyone present. As the dragon attempted to breach Eren's chamber, Eren couldn't fathom how he knew the creature's name. Soldrake was supposed to have perished alongside Eren during that fateful incident. Pondering the possibility of the dragon's survival, Eren's mind struggled to reconcile the inexplicable. His confusion deepened as his mother positioned herself protectively before him, confronting the dragon with an unwavering resolve. In a surprising turn, the elderly woman stepped forward, effortlessly taming Soldrake with gentle gestures. Witnessing this astonishing display, Eren moved to intervene, but the old woman silenced him with a playful wink, leaving him to grapple with the enigma unfolding before his eyes. Eren's astonishment deepened as Elena urged him to stay clear, cautioning of danger. Hearing his mother's words, Eren realized he alone could perceive the presence of the mysterious old woman. With a few uttered words, the old woman commanded Soldrake, prompting the dragon to soar away from the castle as she vanished into thin air. Witnessing her disappearance, Eren felt a surge of surprise. Melbon, the butler, hurried to Elena's side, expressing concern for her well-being. Assured by Elena that she was unharmed, Elena turned to Eren, her gaze fixing upon him, as she inquired about his well-being. Eren, amidst the opulent castle, surrounded by worried attendants and a departing white dragon, couldn't shake the feeling of inhabiting Eren Pendragon's role. Elena's repeated inquiries about his welfare prompted Eren to reassure her, calming both Elena and Melbon. Resolving to untangle the mysteries surrounding him, Eren acknowledged the need to gather information discreetly. As Eren endeavors to conceal his true identity as Raven from the servants, he resolves to gather pertinent information from them discreetly. Within the Empire, the Rakshasa unit stood as a marginalized and subpar unit, existing in a realm devoid of human rights. Yet, within this harsh environment, Raven managed to endure for a decade. His survival was a testament to his refined combat skills and extraordinary healing prowess. Raven emerged as a warrior without adversaries, feared by both humans and monsters alike. However, fate took a cruel turn during the monster eradication campaign in the Lobteen Plain. In the throes of battle, Raven, on the brink of liberation from the Rakshasa units, met his demise alongside Lord Pendragon, whom he had faithfully guarded. Supposedly fallen, Raven defied death, inhabiting Lord Pendragon's body. Moreover, he found himself transported back in time, 7 years prior to the fatal confrontation. This extraordinary turn of events heralded a profound transformation for Raven. Shedding his former life of relentless monster hunting, he emerged as Eren Pendragon. As Lindsay tended to him, feeding him with a tenderness reminiscent of infancy, Eren couldn't help but feel a pang of discomfort. The transition from formidable warrior to being cared for like a child struck him as excessive. Eren informed Lindsay that it had been several days since he woke up, emphasizing that he could manage to eat by himself. He requested the food from her. However, Lindsay explained that the doctor's instructions mandated absolute stillness for Eren, requiring assistance from the maids during meals. She gently urged Eren to comply by opening his mouth for her to feed him. Reflecting on Lindsay's devoted care during his slumber as Raven, Eren acknowledged her overprotectiveness. Despite feeling embarrassed, Eren yielded to her insistence, allowing her to feed him. After finishing his meal, Lindsay expressed her hope that Eren enjoyed it and announced her intention to help him dress until his medication was ready. Eren declined her offer, asserting his ability to dress himself. He instructed Lindsay to bring his clothes and a hair clip while he washed his face. "Lindsay, I can manage," Eren insisted, attempting to walk despite the protests about his frail body. However, Lindsay gently intervened, guiding him to a chair. She assured him she would handle changing his clothes and fixing his hair. Reluctantly, Eren relented, allowing Lindsay to tend to him. As Lindsay tied his hair and helped him change, Eren couldn't shake off the feeling of frustration at his current state, relying on others for even the simplest tasks. Suddenly, a voice called out, addressing him as brother. Startled, Eren turned to see his sister, Lady Irene, accompanied by her daughter, Lady Mia. Mia rushed over to him, enveloping him in a hug, prompting an awkward smile from Eren. Irene apologized for their unexpected visit and inquired about Eren's ability to walk. Eren reassured her, prompting Lindsay to offer Irene a seat. Despite Irene's concern about intruding, Eren insisted they were not a bother. Irene's joy at his reassurance was evident as she mentioned the blooming summer flowers in the courtyard, steering the conversation towards lighter topics. As Eren anticipated the chance to venture outside with Irene to admire the flowers, she eagerly launched into a detailed discourse about them. Eren couldn't help but inwardly sigh, knowing he was in for another lengthy discussion. Despite his initial intention to feign amnesia upon waking up, Irene's loquacious nature made it nearly impossible to maintain the pretense. Yet, he found solace in the wealth of information she unwittingly provided. Listening to Irene's descriptions of the previous Eren Pendragon, Eren couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. The image she painted was of a melancholy figure, more inclined towards reading and drawing than wielding a sword. Furthermore, he learned of Eren's timid and shy demeanor, often retreating to his room. These traits had led to ridicule among the nobles, despite Eren's noble lineage. It was no wonder the Pendragon family had fallen from grace. But now, having been reincarnated as Eren, Raven saw an opportunity to alter the course of history. In his current form, Eren inhabited the 17-year-old body he possessed before crossing paths with Raven on the battlefield. Within the castle walls, whispers circulated that Eren had been comatose for nearly 3 years, from the age of 14. Raven pondered the curious twist of fate that had him awaken as Eren in this particular circumstance. However, he dismissed the question of why as insignificant compared to the opportunity it presented. For Raven, the paramount concern was his continued existence and the chance to start anew, 7 years prior. Freed from the shackles of the Rakshasa units, he aimed to redeem the tarnished honor of his family name, Valt. This rebirth offered him a second shot at fulfilling his unmet ambitions and unraveling the enigmatic words uttered by Balti before his demise, words hinting at a deeper connection between events. As Eren Pendragon and Raven Valt intertwined, Raven resolved to embark once more into battle. Elena turns to Eren, her voice drawing his attention as she asks if he's listening. Eren offers a quick apology to his sister, urging her to continue. Irene then informs Eren that it appears Luna will be visiting him soon. Perplexed, Eren inquired about Luna's identity. Irene revealed Luna as the adopted daughter of Count Sirod, a knight of the Pendragon house. Irene reveals to Eren that Luna is not only his visitor but also his fiancée. The revelation left Eren momentarily speechless, grappling with the unexpected news. Meanwhile, outside, a carriage traversed through the forest, escorted by knights. Within, one of the knights informed Lady Luna of their imminent arrival at Conrad Castle, the seat of the Pendragon Duchy. Joseph Britton, the first knight of the Sirod Count family, approached Lady Luna with a question. He noted that she was about to meet her fiancé for the first time in 3 years and inquired about her feelings. Luna dismissed his concern, questioning why she should confide in him. She redirected his focus to his duties, indicating she didn't want him to worry about her. In her mind, Luna harbored doubts about Eren Pendragon's strength. She believed Eren to be weak and timid, doubting their ability to hold a proper conversation. Despite their engagement being initially beneficial for her family, Luna resolved to end it that day. Her father, the Count of Sirod, had decided to cancel the engagement due to the declining power of the Pendragon house. Luna disagreed with her father's leniency on the matter, feeling it was time to sever ties with a house that had fallen behind the others. Truthfully, Luna felt a wave of relief when her father instructed her to end things with Pendragon. Britton commented on Luna's facade of Luca's visit, knowing she was on her way to dissolve the engagement. He wondered if young Lord Eren had matured, but Luna brushed off his inquiry, asserting it was none of his concern. She cautioned Britton against needlessly antagonizing the Pendragon Knights, but Britton laughed it off, claiming there were no knights in Pendragon anymore. He doubted Eren could reclaim past glory, especially after failing to make a pact with a dragon. Britain boasted that he could bring more honor to the Searod house than Pendragon ever could. Luna, annoyed by Britain's arrogance, asked him to step back, as Joseph's behavior had been unpleasant. Joseph, realizing his mistake, apologized to Lady Luna. Luna pondered the lack of decent men in both the Pendragon and Searod families, finding fault in both weakness and arrogance. As they gathered in the entrance hall of Conrad Castle, Luna exchanged greetings with Eren, his mother, and sister. Irene complimented Luna's appearance, while Elena expressed gratitude for her visit. Elena then entrusted Eren with the task of escorting Luna to her room. Observing Eren, Luna couldn't help but feel a sense of disappointment. Despite his age, he seemed incapable of even basic social interactions without being prodded. However, with a sudden display of charm, Eren greeted Luna and offered to show her to her room. Luna was taken aback by this unexpected shift in demeanor. Eren, noticing Luna's surprise, suggested she stay in a separate room from the knights. Luna found herself speechless, grappling with her conflicting emotions upon witnessing Eren's uncharacteristic behavior. Gathering her composure, Luna apologized to Eren for her earlier behavior and requested that he assign the knight to a separate room. Witnessing Luna's composed demeanor, Eren reflected on Irene's description of Luna as calm and reserved, contrasting it with her current attitude towards him after 3 years of separation. He realized the political nature of their marriage. Led by Lindsay, Eren and Luna were shown to their room. As they entered, Lindsay offered to prepare tea, receiving Eren's approval. Eren then urged Luna to sit down, surprising her with his assertiveness. Luna struggled to comprehend Eren's sudden transformation from someone who couldn't even make eye contact to one confidently interacting with her and the servants. Commenting on Eren's change, Luna mentioned hearing about his memory loss and questioned if he had forgotten about her. Eren confirmed this, explaining that upon awakening, he couldn't recall anything from his past. He expressed regret for this, apologizing to Luna. Luna observed that Eren had transformed into a completely different person after losing his memory, yet she couldn't help but notice how strikingly handsome he had become. She believed that with Eren's newfound confidence, even the declining Pendragon family could potentially revive. Meanwhile, Eren contemplated the precarious situation between the Pendragon and neighboring families, lacking crucial information about potential consequences. He sensed that Luna was concealing something from their initial encounter and resolved to uncover it. Eren acknowledged the remarks from his servants and sister about his changed demeanor, implying that if Luna disapproved, she should discuss it with Count Searod. In response, Luna vehemently rejected the suggestion, indicating that she held no desire to involve her father. The tension between them simmered as Luna's outburst hinted at deeper complexities beneath the surface. Luna swiftly apologized to Eren for her sudden outburst, feeling conflicted about the situation. She recognized that her father had already decided to end the engagement with Eren and had come to discuss it that day. Despite acknowledging Eren's personal growth, Luna remained convinced that he couldn't restore the Pendragon family's reputation. Therefore, she felt compelled to address the matter with him promptly. As Luna prepared to broach the subject, Lindsay interrupted with a message from the Duchess, summoning Eren and Lady Searod to the audience chamber immediately. Eren inquired about the urgency, prompting Lindsay to reveal that a commotion caused by the knight accompanying Luna had occurred. Luna was taken aback by the unforeseen development, realizing the timing couldn't be worse. Feeling cornered, Luna struggled to articulate her intentions to Eren before the interruption. Eren, sensing her discomfort, remarked that Luna appeared to have been concealing something since her arrival. Eren asked Luna if she came with bad intentions today. Luna reassured Eren that she didn't have any ill will. Though she disliked Eren, Luna felt it was necessary to tell him something important. Eren then left, promising to hear her out later, suggesting they first deal with Luna's knight. Luna was puzzled by Eren's sudden change but decided to focus on stopping Britain for now. Eventually, Luna agreed to accompany Eren. The scene transitions to the grandeur of the audience hall, where the butler, with a hint of curiosity, inquires of Britain whether Count Searod has indeed agreed to dissolve the engagement. Britain affirms this, elaborating that both Luna and himself have arrived to deliver this news to young Lord Eren. Selena's frustration becomes palpable as she absorbs this revelation, and she confronts Britain, her voice tinged with a mix of incredulity and indignation. She points out the implication of Count Searod's actions, suggesting that his willingness to end the engagement signifies his readiness to accept accountability for the fallout. Britain acknowledges her astute observation and reveals that Count Serad seeks to make amends by offering the Pendragon family ownership of lucrative gold and crystal mines near the border, as well as 2 prized lumber mills in the Brynjard forest. The enormity of this proposal visibly startles both Selena and Melbon, their expressions betraying a mixture of astonishment and disbelief. With a calculated tone, Britain then subtly suggests to Selena that given her current shortage of household staff and knights, it might be prudent to consider Count Serad's generous offer. Selena, her pride wounded by Britain's insinuations, silently wonders just how much further he intends to slight the honor of the Pendragon lineage. Selena acknowledges the challenging economic situation facing the Pendragon family but resolves not to accept the offer, driven by pride in her family name. Firmly, she informs Britain of her decision to decline the proposal. Britain, however, questions Selena's certainty, highlighting the potential opportunity it presents to restore their family's fortunes. Selena's frustration mounts at his persistence. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts as the knights enter, paying their respects, followed by Eren Pendragon. Selena and Melbon's spirits lift at Eren's arrival. Britain sees Eren's presence as a significant moment. He believes Luna should take note, as he intends to demonstrate his superiority to Eren. As Eren assumes his seat, Britain approaches him, only to be met with Eren's confusion. Eren reveals he has lost his memories and doesn't recognize Britain. Shocked, Britain reassesses the situation, realizing Eren's altered state doesn't necessarily diminish his capabilities. Britain is determined to demonstrate to Eren the disparity between them and intends to adjust Eren's attitude. Stepping forward, Britain begins to assert his status as the top knight of the Serad Count house, but Eren abruptly interrupts, ordering him to step back. Britain is taken aback by this command. Eren dismisses Britain, expressing no interest in him and deeming him just a mere knight. Britain, feeling slighted, questions Eren's rudeness. However, Eren counters with a stern assertion that it's Britain's party who has come to his castle with disrespect. With an intense gaze, Eren reiterates his demand for Britain to step back, leaving Britain shocked into compliance. Turning to Luna, Eren remarks on the commotion and his discovery of the argument over a mere breakup upon his arrival. Eren gestures for Luna Serad to step forward, suggesting they continue their conversation themselves. Luna is caught off guard by the turn of events and ponders her next move. Eren addresses Luna, affirming that Serad intends to end the engagement and compensate the Pendragon family with a gold mine, a crystal mine, and 2 lumber mills. He suggests this should settle the matter. Luna, Selena, and Melbon are taken aback by Eren's blunt approach. Selena questions where Eren learned such assertiveness, while Melbon advises caution before making any decisions. Eren acknowledges Serad's actions but emphasizes the need for the Pendragons to focus on reclaiming their strength. He dismisses the significance of the marriage dispute, expressing doubt that the Pendragons can sway Serad's decision. Eren questions Luna if he's mistaken. Luna internally grapples with the realization that she must inform Eren of her inability to marry him. Reluctantly, she admits to herself that she's beginning to fall in love with Eren Pendragon. Eren notices Luna's hesitation and suggests that if it's a decision from the Serad household, Luna's personal thoughts need not factor in. He accepts the end of the engagement with Serad without giving Luna a chance to speak. Eren then turns to Duchess Selena for her approval, which she grants, expressing her trust in Eren as the head of the Pendragon family. With Selena's consent, Eren formally announces the annulment of the marriage between himself and Luna Serad. Luna and Britain are frustrated, while Selena and Melbon feel relieved. In a moment of solitude, Eren reflects on the mounting pressures and declares his desire to be excluded from any further marriage discussions. Eren reflects on his decision to inquire about the economic state of Pendragon territory from Irene. He reasons that if breaking the engagement can yield such significant resources, particularly the valuable crystal mine essential for magical materials, there's little reason to decline. Securing the crystal mine could enable Pendragon to attract skilled mages to their domain, enhancing their capabilities. As Eren strolls through the corridor, he notices a portrait of the elderly woman he encountered earlier in his room. Curious, he approaches Lindsay and inquires about the woman's identity. Lindsay informs Eren that she is Lady Atia Pendragon, the older sister of Eren's grandfather, Sir Klein Pendragon. Eren repeats her name, only for Atia Pendragon herself to speak from behind him, commending Eren for addressing her by her name. Startled by her sudden appearance, Eren listens as Atia expresses her desire to speak with him privately, inviting him to engage in a conversation. Eren approached Lady Atia with a puzzled expression, wondering why she sought his audience. She met his gaze with a solemn air before revealing the truth. She was a ghost, and to communicate with the living, her name had to be invoked. Eren found himself at a loss, contemplating the surreal encounter. Despite facing monsters for a decade, conversing with a spirit was an entirely new experience for him. He couldn't help but reflect on the strange occurrences since he awoke in this unfamiliar body. With a grave demeanor, Lady Atia wasted no time delving into the matter at hand. Her piercing gaze bore into Eren as she questioned his identity, knowing full well he wasn't Eren Pendragon. Shock washed over Eren upon hearing her assertion. Sensing his disbelief, Lady Atia quickly softened her tone, offering apologies for the blunt delivery that may have seemed threatening. She explained that her knowledge came from Soldrake, who had informed her of Eren's true nature. Understanding dawned upon Eren as he pieced together the puzzle before him. With newfound clarity, he inquired if Lady Atia could communicate with dragons as well, and whether she knew his original identity. Lady Atia admitted to Eren that she didn't possess that knowledge and expressed a desire to understand what transpired. Eren pondered the situation, realizing Atia's spectral nature and contemplating the exclusivity of their interaction. If he was the sole witness to Atia's presence, perhaps she could become an ally in his journey. Assured of his decision, Eren vowed to disclose everything despite his doubts about Atia's willingness to believe him. He embarked on a narrative, revealing not only the events leading to his current state, but also his true identity as Valt. Eren recounted the fateful day on the Lobtine Plain, where both Eren and Raven perished, or so it was believed. Eren grappled with the mystery of why Raven awoke in the guise of Eren Pendragon after supposedly dying. As Eren shared his tale, Atia began to grasp the essence of his being. Eren was taken aback by her acceptance of his extraordinary story. Atia reassured him, explaining that belief was irrelevant in the face of his tangible presence. Soldrake, too, had recognized the anomaly of Eren's existence, further validating his truth. Atia found herself inclined to believe Eren's account, but she dropped a bombshell that left him reeling. She suggested that the Eren Raven had protected on the Lobtine Plain might have been an impostor. Shock washed over Eren at the implications of such a revelation. With a solemn tone, Atia delved into the intricate history of the Pendragon lineage. She spoke of generations of heirs forming pacts with Soldrake, weaving a tapestry of power and obligation. Then she posed a question to Raven. Had he ever heard of the necessity to unlock a mausoleum? Atia elaborated, revealing the true significance of the Pendragon mausoleum. It wasn't merely a resting place for ancestral souls, but a repository of the family's fortune, ancestral blessings, and the familiars of Soldrake. Within its depths lay a magic tower housing the closely guarded secrets of the Pendragon lineage, the wellspring of their greatness. The opening of the mausoleum symbolized stability and prosperity for the Pendragon family, while its closure heralded decline. Atia emphasized the gravity of the situation, explaining that only the heirs of Pendragon possessed the key to unlock the mausoleum gate. Atia elucidated the daunting challenge of forming a pact with Soldrake, whose authority was nearly insurmountable. The Pendragon heir had but a single opportunity to forge this pact. Failure meant relinquishing the task to future generations. Even renowned figures like Klein and his predecessor Gordon had struggled with the pact, highlighting its formidable nature. Eren, deemed the weakest Pendragon in history, had been decisively defeated by Soldrake, plunging him into a coma. Atia explained the grim reality that heirs defeated by Soldrake seldom regained consciousness. The noble white dragon only submitted to those who conquered her authority, making Eren's chances of departing with Soldrake to encounter Valt seem improbable. Eren absorbed this revelation with shock. However, Atia swiftly redirected the focus, assuring Eren that his identity was currently inconsequential. Instead, she emphasized the paramount importance of Eren Pendragon awakening with another soul within him. Eren queried Atia about the cryptic message she was conveying. In response, Atia revealed that while the body belonged to Eren, the soul within did not. This revelation meant there was still a chance to forge a pact with Soldrake if the soul was different. Atia then outlined a daring plan for Raven. She explained that the Pendragon forces were currently insufficient, Raven was to journey to the treacherous Ancona forest, a haven for ferocious monsters. Battling through the ceaseless onslaught, Raven would ultimately reach the heart of the forest, the Pendragon Mausoleum. There, he would showcase his strength and forge a pact with Soldrake, the guardian of the mausoleum. Atia urged Raven to embrace his destiny as the true heir of Pendragon and undertake the mission. With a probing gaze, she asked for his thoughts on the matter, questioning whether he believed he could succeed. Raven, resolute, agreed to the task. He cited his familiarity with battling monsters and expressed optimism about the potential benefits of opening the mausoleum. With Raven's commitment sealed, Atia nodded in approval, reassured by his determination. She emphasized the importance of this quest and the potential rewards it held for both Raven and the Pendragon lineage. Furthermore, Atia pointed out that it would benefit Raven personally if the Pendragon name regained its authority. With his own ambitions in mind, Raven pledged to utilize all available resources. Atia observed Raven's decisive nature and admired his determination, feeling a sense of affinity towards him. She assured Raven that she harbored no objections to his goals and expressed her desire for Pendragon to reclaim its former glory, which aligned with her own wishes. Atia promised not to hinder Raven's pursuits. Raven expressed gratitude for her understanding. With clarity on the next steps, Raven acknowledged the need to assert control over the vassals. Despite the support the family received after Eren's coma, Raven acknowledged the lingering disdain he faced due to his predecessor's actions. Atia acknowledged Raven's assessment, recognizing that some still underestimated the current head of Pendragon and the family's fortunes. Atia instructed Raven to identify the loyal vassals and assert his authority as the head of the castle. Raven acknowledged the task at hand, recognizing the need to take command of the vassals and prepare for the impending battle to open the mausoleum. With determination in his voice, Raven stated that he would have everything under control within half a month, resorting to force if necessary. The scene transitions to the exterior, where Eren is deeply engrossed in his training regimen. Eren strives to recapture the sensations he experienced as Raven while hunting monsters, their formidable size, their numbers, and their predatory behavior. He resolves not to rely on his comrades as mere fighters, but to hunt with the intent of single-handedly vanquishing them all, determined to prevent the tragedies of his past life from recurring. Linda, observing Eren's intense training, is taken aback by his dedication. She admires his prowess, expressing her genuine astonishment at his abilities. Eren reflects on the transformation his body has undergone since Raven's consciousness inhabited it. From initially being too feeble to wield a sword, Eren's relentless workout routine has rendered his physique akin to that of Raven during his time in the Rakshasa unit. Unbeknownst to Raven, his healing and combat prowess have seamlessly transferred to Eren, a remarkable phenomenon that Eren is deeply grateful for. Just then, Mark Killian, a knight of the Pendragon house, approaches Eren. Offering to spar with swords, Killian extends an invitation for Eren to hone his skills further. Eren contemplated Killian's offer to train him, but instead, he declined for the time being, explaining that he had something else in store for Killian later. The scene then shifted to the main hall of Conrad Castle, where a gathering had convened. Eren, addressing everyone present, declared his intention to soon open the mausoleum. The announcement shocked Killian, the butler, and the soldiers. Killian voiced his concerns, stating that if Eren wished to open the mausoleum, he would have to conquer the Ancona forest with only the current troop strength. With all due respect, Killian expressed doubt about Eren's ability to lead in battle, given his limited training thus far. Eren, however, urged Killian to set aside his reservations momentarily and provide insight into the situation at the gate. Killian described a scene of absolute chaos, where monsters and bandits roamed freely. He explained that vigilante groups had formed in each town to combat the escalating threat. As tension thickened in the room, Eren acknowledged Killian's grim assessment of the situation. Monsters and bandits loomed ever closer to the gate, threatening to breach the castle's defenses. Despite the peril, Eren remained resolute, declaring that Pendragon would not relinquish their hold on the gate. The butler, however, urged caution, proposing a strategy that involved bolstering the family's power through the crystal mines bestowed by the Seerods. He suggested that Eren undergo tactical training with Sir Killian before proceeding further. But Eren countered, pointing out the harsh reality. Pendragon lacked the manpower to protect the crystal mines, let alone operate them effectively. He emphasized that time was of the essence, and delaying action was not an option. In a decisive move, Eren announced that they would depart in 15 days, with him personally leading the operation. He made it clear that objections would not be tolerated. Killian's laughter at Eren's proclamation drew Eren's scrutiny. With a hint of defiance, Eren challenged Killian, questioning the humor in entrusting him with command. Descending the stairs with determination etched on his face, Eren voiced his frustration at the incessant opposition he faced. Addressing Killian, he challenged him to a duel, citing Killian's repeated assertions of wanting to restrain him. Eren declared that he had prepared a grand stage for Killian. Killian, taken aback, questioned Eren's resolve, expressing doubt about his ability to survive on the front line without training. Eren brushed aside Killian's concerns, accusing him of verbosity and urging him to let his sword do the talking. Drawing his sword, Eren charged at Killian, who managed to parry the attack but felt the weight behind Eren's strike. In retaliation, Killian launched a counterattack, only for Eren to deftly evade it. Seizing an opportunity, Eren leaped into the air, unleashing a powerful strike. Despite Killian's own counterstrike, he asserted his superiority, refusing to be bested by a novice in swordsmanship. As Eren withdrew from his strike, Killian, interpreting it as a sign of surrender, but in a swift and unexpected move, Eren used the cover of his sword to deliver a decisive blow to Killian's chest, sending him crashing to the ground. Shock rippled through the onlookers at the sudden turn of events. Turning to address the assembled soldiers, Eren reiterated his earlier declaration. They would depart in 15 days, and he would forge a pact with the White Dragon to open the mausoleum. Any objections were to be voiced now. In response, the soldiers unanimously pledged their allegiance to Eren's command. Meanwhile, in the guest room of Conrad Castle, Luna remained. Britain entered, questioning Luna's decision to stay in Pendragon's territory. Luna asserted her intention to accompany young Lord Eren to the battlefield. Britain, puzzled, queried Luna's motives, citing the broken engagement and Eren's perceived ineptitude in battle despite his apparent transformation. In response to Britain's suggestion that Lady Luna should swiftly return to Sirad territory under his escort as a skilled knight, Luna sharply rebuked his condescending attitude. She expressed her disdain for Britain's constant arrogance and belittlement of others, highlighting his apparent unawareness of her reasons for remaining at the castle. Luna explained that the Pendragons were relatives of the Sirad family, being one of the 5 ducal houses of the empire and bearing the bloodline of the emperor. Despite the broken engagement, Luna emphasized the importance of gathering information on the Pendragon's actions to assess potential losses and gains for the Sirad house. She asserted that it would be unwise to hastily return to Sirad territory, especially when young Lord Eren embarked on his journey to the front. Luna declared her intention to accompany Eren, ensuring she remained abreast of developments. Britain conceded to Luna's reasoning, agreeing to accompany them only as far as the Bellant Gate. Britain pressed Luna to promise that after reaching the Bellant Gate, she would return home with him. Luna assented, reassuring Britain that she would honor her word. However, in her thoughts, Luna pondered the significance of Eren's transformation. She believed that if Eren succeeded in opening the mausoleum with his newfound strength, the Pendragon house would undoubtedly reclaim its former glory. Luna resolved to witness firsthand just how formidable Eren had become. Meanwhile, Britain seethed with resentment over Eren's perceived humiliation of him. He harbored a deep desire to demonstrate to Eren the harsh realities of the outside world once they departed. The scene transitions to 15 days later, where all the assembled forces stand outside the castle, prepared to depart. Eren's mother, Selena, embraces him tightly, urging him to promise his safe return. Eren reassures her, pledging to secure the White Dragon and the mausoleum before returning home unharmed. He then turns to see Irene and Mia shedding tears. With comforting words, Eren assures them of his safe return. Lindsay approaches Eren, signaling that it's time to leave. Eren mounts his horse, ready to embark on the journey. Just as he prepares to depart, the butler arrives, presenting Eren with Pendragon's revered sword, the window scream. As Eren accepts the sword, he reflects on the significance of the upcoming battle. He is determined to reclaim Pendragon's power and fulfill the long-awaited wish of the Valt house that he couldn't fulfill in the past. With the treasured sword in hand, Eren is resolved to restore the honor lost by the Raven family and erase the stigma of their betrayal against the Empire. With determination coursing through him, Eren readied himself for the impending battle. As he raised his sword, he rallied his troops, urging them to fight for the glory of Pendragon. The soldiers surged forward, confronting the monstrous wolves that lurked within the forest. Killian cautioned Eren to be careful, but Eren assured him that he could handle the creatures. With a single swift strike, Eren dispatched the monsters, instilling confidence in his troops. He urged them to press onward without hesitation. Killian, Lindsay, and Luna watched in awe as Eren displayed his prowess. Upon reaching the Belent Gate, Eren halted his troops and instructed Killian to remain outside while he assessed the situation within. Killian ordered the soldiers to rest until further notice. Approaching Eren, Lindsay offered him water, her face smeared with dust. Concerned for her well-being, Eren suggested she take a break and wash her face. Blushing, Lindsay protested, claiming she couldn't possibly do so. Eren insisted to Lindsay that it was an order, reassuring her that she need not worry about him. He urged her to rest, emphasizing that it was equally important for her well-being. Lindsay acquiesced, agreeing to follow Eren's directive. Entering the Belent Gate, Eren surveyed the scene with disappointment. The state of disrepair exceeded his expectations. There were insufficient personnel and resources to maintain the fortress. Even the soldiers' equipment was worn out, leaving Eren to lament that even the Rakshasa unit might have been better equipped. Recognizing the importance of the Belent Gate in Pendragon territory, Eren was dismayed by the incompetence of its commander and knights. He turned to Killian for answers, inquiring about the whereabouts of the gate's leadership. Killian revealed that the knights had deserted, taking the soldiers with them. Shocked by this revelation, Eren's frustration grew. Determined to rectify the situation, Eren informed Killian of his intention to pursue the deserters the following day. Eren wasted no time in issuing orders to Killian, instructing him to prepare everyone without delay. His resolve hardened. Eren vowed to confront those soldiers who dared to underestimate Pendragon's authority. The scene shifted to the Southstone Forest within Pendragon territory, where an abandoned monastery served as the rendezvous point for the bandits. Among them, word spread like wildfire that Eren Pendragon had awakened. With determination gleaming in their eyes, the bandits resolved to deal with Eren Pendragon themselves. The scene transitions to Eren Pendragon's private quarters within the Belent Gate. Eren addresses Killian and the others, expressing his intention to depart ahead of the Pendragon forces the next day, with Killian and the troops following behind. Killian raises a concern about leaving the gate short of commanders and soldiers for defense. Britton interjects, assuring Killian that the Sirad house will provide soldiers to compensate for their absence. This, he explains, is how Sirad will reciprocate Pendragon's hospitality during their stay at Conrad Castle. Britton also pledges his personal assistance to young Lord Eren as a token of gratitude. Eren, however, remains wary of Britton's motives, uncertain of his true intentions. Despite his reservations, Eren decides to temporarily allow Britton's involvement, recognizing the potential benefits of utilizing Sirad's resources. Acknowledging Killian's potential discontent with leaving the gate under another family's supervision, Eren assures him that their priority is to ensure the success of their mission. Killian reassured Eren, acknowledging that the current circumstances prioritize practicality over appearances. He explained that the bandit leader, Del Jeffrey, had taken over 20 soldiers when he deserted, likely gaining more followers since. In Killian's view, the larger Pendragon's forces, the better their chances. Eren expressed gratitude for Killian's swift comprehension. Curious to learn more about Del Jeffrey, Eren urged Killian to elaborate. Killian described Del Jeffrey as a skilled swordsman but noted his arrogance. He recounted how, upon Eren's incapacitation, Del Jeffrey had brazenly demanded the title of Baron and control over 3 villages near the gate. When the Duchess promptly refused, their relationship soured. leading to Del Jeffrey's desertion, now a bandit controlling the area around the village of Southstone. Hearing this, Eren concluded that Del Jeffrey was not unintelligent. He surmised that it was more efficient and strategic for Del Jeffrey to expand his power by attacking villages outside rather than directly occupying the gate. Eren contemplated that he might have made similar choices in Del Jeffrey's position. Killian further informed Eren that the village of Southstone lay in ruins, warning that without immediate action from Pendragon, the bandits might attempt to seize the gate. Upon hearing this, Eren decided to orchestrate the entire operation, but to entrust Killian with its command. Killian was taken aback by Eren's decision. Eren explained that the men who had followed Killian in Eren's absence would be more inclined to follow his orders due to their established rapport, whereas they had yet to build a relationship with Eren. Eren assured Killian of his trust and reliance on him. Grateful for the vote of confidence, Killian promised to handle the responsibility. Eren then designated Killian to command the troops, with Britain serving as liaison officer and cavalryman. With plans set, Eren instructed both of them to rest, as they would depart the following day. As Killian turned to leave, Eren halted him. Eren offered a sincere apology to Killian for their previous encounter. Killian reassured Eren, expressing gratitude for his concern and assuring him that he had not been injured. He thanked Eren for his thoughtfulness. Eren then conveyed his anticipation of continuing to have Killian serve as a Knight of Pendragon. With their exchange concluded, Killian departed, leaving Eren to reflect. The scene transitioned to the Southstone village, where a soldier informed Jeffrey that they had exhausted the available resources in the area. Contemplating their next move, Jeffrey considered the possibility of taking down the gate soon, envisioning a future where Pendragon would inevitably fall under his control. Meanwhile, Eren and the Pendragon forces arrived at the Southstone village. Surveying the dilapidated state of the village, Eren noted its dire condition, worse than he had expected. Turning to Killian, Eren inquired whether the rest of Pendragon's territory faced similar challenges. Killian confirmed Eren's suspicions, revealing that 70% of Pendragon's total territory shared the same plight. Killian explained that while there were a few villages managing to hold their own, attempting to seek help from the gate often resulted in encounters with bandits and monsters, placing them in perilous situations. Eren realized that while he had been focused on reclaiming the mausoleum, he also needed to address the challenges faced by the Pendragon territory as a whole. Suddenly, a rustling from above caught their attention. Eren immediately alerted everyone to stay vigilant. A monstrous creature descended from the trees. Recognizing it as a harpy, Eren noted that its appearance couldn't have come at a more opportune moment. Eren swung his sword at the bird monster, but it deftly evaded his attack. He swiftly instructed his 5 arbalests to step forward, commanding them to capture the harpy without causing harm. With precision, the arbalests managed to pin down the harpy as instructed. Killian remarked on the monster's increasing boldness in encroaching upon human villages. Suddenly, goblins emerged from the bushes, launching an attack on Eren. However, Eren effortlessly dispatched the goblins, leaving both the harpy and the defeated goblins at his feet. Killian suggested dealing with the monsters, but Eren had a different plan. He declared that both the harpy and the goblins would be joining their ranks. Shocked by this decision, Killian and the soldiers questioned Eren's rationale. Eren explained that goblins possessed keen eyesight, while harpies were known for their speed, making them valuable allies. He saw them as useful familiars to aid in their mission. Killian expressed disbelief, having never heard of someone using monsters as familiars before. Eren reminisced about how Killian had witnessed something similar on a battlefield long ago, though Killian seemed perplexed by Eren's remark. Eren clarified that he had come across this concept in a book. If he could utilize monsters or any other resource, he would. With a confident smile, Eren urged Killian to observe. Approaching the goblins, Eren inquired about their presence in human territory beyond the forest. The goblin, identifying himself as Khazal, explained that besides Eren's group, many menacing creatures such as wolves, ghouls, harpies, orcs, and even a white dragon had encroached upon their hunting grounds, forcing them to seek refuge in human territory. Understanding Khazal's predicament, Eren turned to the harpy named Tada. With a firm gaze, Eren questioned Tada if he had ever harmed a human. Startled, Tada admitted to never having done so. Drawing his sword, Eren declared to both Tada and Khazal that they would now be under his command. As the Lord of the Land, Duke Pendragon, Eren made it clear to Tada and Khazal that disobedience or attempted escape would result in facing the wrath of the White Dragon. Both Tada and Khazal trembled at the thought and quickly pledged their obedience to Eren's commands. Satisfied with their response, Eren asserted his authority, informing them that they now served under him. Their first task was to lead Eren to the Southstone village via the shortest route. Behind them, Killian and the soldiers watched in astonishment at Eren's ability to command the monsters. Killian acknowledged Eren's unconventional approach and resourcefulness, recognizing that there was much to learn from his methods. Eren couldn't help but smile at the compliment. The scene shifted to the village where Khazal had successfully guided Eren and the troops. Eren instructed Killian to remain behind while he and Bridden, accompanied by a few soldiers, would launch an attack on the abandoned monastery. Eren decided to dispatch a messenger later to inform Killian and the soldiers that they could join him afterward. Killian nodded in understanding. Meanwhile, Luna pondered her lack of battlefield experience despite being under young Lord Eren's protection, wondering if she would be able to handle it. Bridden reassured Luna, promising to protect her. Eren ordered the first group to depart, instructing Khazal and Tada to conduct a reconnaissance mission from the sky. As Eren pressed forward, they encountered Jeffrey and his soldiers escorting villagers to the abandoned monastery. Just as Jeffrey was about to strike a young villager, Eren intervened, swiftly incapacitating Jeffrey. Astonished to see Eren Pendragon in Southstone village, Jeffrey questioned how the once timid kid had ended up there. Before Jeffrey could say more, Eren silenced him with a firm command. As Jeffrey attempted to speak, Eren sternly indicated that he would allow him to talk when he deemed it appropriate. However, instead of engaging in dialogue, Jeffrey swiftly dashed to the other side, commanding his soldiers to attack. Responding with precision and swiftness, Eren effortlessly incapacitated the assailants, leaving Jeffrey astonished by his prowess. Before Eren could confront Jeffrey directly, Bridden intervened, intercepting Eren's strike aimed at Jeffrey. Luna and the other soldiers watched in disbelief as Bridden stepped in. Bridden offered assistance to Jeffrey, who inquired about Bridden's identity. Bridden revealed himself as the first knight of the Order of the Red Moon from the Sirad Count House. He expressed his willingness to aid Jeffrey in his attempt to take down Eren Pendragon. Observing this exchange, Luna questioned Bridden's motives. Bridden reassured Luna, implying that he was more suitable for her than Eren. Ignoring Luna's concern, Bridden and Jeffrey launched a coordinated attack against Eren. Concerned for Eren's safety, Luna urged him to step away from the confrontation. However, Eren proved his capability by effortlessly blocking both Bridden and Jeffrey's attacks, subsequently pushing them back. Turning to Luna, Eren instructed her to move to a safer location, assuring her that he would swiftly deal with the knights. As Khazal escorted Luna to safety, she couldn't help but worry about Eren facing formidable opponents like Bridden and the bandit leader alone. Despite her concern, Luna found herself blushing as she watched Eren's display of strength. Eren then commanded Tada to fetch Killian, prompting Tada to rush off to fulfill the task. Bridden and Jeffrey warned Eren that even with reinforcements, they would defeat him before help arrived. Unfazed, Eren chuckled and invited them to attack him together. Confident in his abilities, both Jeffrey and Bridden launched a joint attack on Eren. As Bridden lunged forward, Eren skillfully evaded his strike and managed to shatter Bridden's sword with ease. Swiftly maneuvering behind Bridden, Eren swiftly incapacitated both Bridden and Jeffrey with a single decisive blow, leaving them astonished. Addressing them calmly, Eren remarked that their conventional swordsmanship was no match for him. Turning his attention to Bridden, Eren swiftly disarmed him, leaving Bridden stunned. Eren instructed Bridden to cease lying on the ground and fulfill his duty of escorting Luna back to her territory. He warned Bridden to leave Pendragon territory immediately and never return. Terrified, Bridden scrambled away, fleeing towards safety. Eren then turned to Jeffrey, who questioned if Eren had made a pact with a demon. Jeffrey warned Eren about the numerous bandits still inside the mansion, expressing doubt in Eren's ability to face them alone. Eren addressed Jeffrey firmly, questioning if he had forgotten about Pendragon's exceptional soldiers. He declared that his task was complete, and from that point forward, it would be his outstanding soldiers who would deal with the remnants. As if on cue, Killian arrived with the Pendragon forces, standing behind Eren. Eren warned that those who had betrayed Pendragon could expect no leniency in their punishment. After neutralizing the bandits, the scene shifted outside where the villagers expressed their gratitude to Eren for saving them. Eren assured them they could freely reach out if they needed assistance with reconstruction efforts. Delighted, the villagers thanked Eren for his aid, their cheers filling the air as he departed from the village. As Eren left, Khazal and Tada approached him, requesting a reward for their assistance. Eren promised them a fitting reward once they returned to the campsite, prompting smiles from both creatures. Meanwhile, Killian informed Eren that the Southstone village seemed to be managing well for the time being. However, Eren disagreed, stating that there was still one more task to complete before they could conquer the Ancona forest. The scene unfolded several days prior within the walls of Conrad Castle. Lady Atia approached Eren with a proposition that caught him off guard. She spoke of forging an alliance with the Ancona orcs, a notion that stirred surprise within Eren's heart. Lady Atia elucidated the unique circumstance surrounding these orcs, dwelling within the confines of Pendragon territory under a solemn vow never to stray from the Ancona forest. She painted a vivid picture of their prowess in battle, their fighting abilities purportedly surpassing that of their brethren by twofold. Eren listened intently as Lady Atia outlined how these formidable warriors could become invaluable assets in his forthcoming assault on the forest. Voicing his concern, Eren remarked on the notorious thirst for battle that consumed the Orcish nature. Yet, Lady Atia remained steadfast in her conviction that they could be swayed to Eren's cause. She made it clear that the outcome rested squarely upon Eren's skills as a leader. In a somber moment of reflection, Lady Atia acknowledged the hierarchy that governed the orcs' allegiance. A being of superior strength, such as the dragon Soldrake, held sway over them. However, the complexities of their situation dictated that Pendragon could not leverage Soldrake's power in this instance. Moreover, Lady Atia highlighted the challenge posed by Eren's own history with Soldrake, a defeat that the Ancona orcs were undoubtedly aware of. To gain their allegiance, Eren would need to prove himself in combat against these formidable warriors and emerge victorious. Lady Atia inquired of Eren's past encounters with orcs, probing into his experiences before their present conversation. Eren recollected a skirmish with a lone orc shortly after joining the Rakshasa unit, reminiscing about the struggles he faced in overcoming the creature. However, he asserted confidently that he had since honed his skills to handle such adversaries with greater ease. Upon hearing Eren's assurance, Lady Atia's expression lit up with approval. She saw an opportunity in Eren's capabilities and wasted no time in formulating a plan. Urging him to seize the moment, she instructed Eren to challenge the Ancona orcs, swiftly defeat them, and thereby pave the way for her to access the mausoleum. In the present, Eren relayed his intentions to Killian, disclosing his plans to forge an alliance with the Ancona orcs under Pendragon's banner. Killian's reaction was one of disbelief, visibly taken aback by the audacity of such a proposition. Eren justified his decision by highlighting the strategic advantage of bolstering Pendragon's forces with the strength of the Orcish warriors. However, Killian voiced his concerns, cautioning Eren about the potential consequences of engaging in battle with the formidable Orcish forces. He warned of the considerable risk involved, fearing that Pendragon's troops might suffer substantial losses if pitted against the orcs in combat. Tada and Khazal voiced their apprehensions to Eren, cautioning him about the inherent dangers posed by the formidable strength of the orcs. Undeterred, Eren rebuked their defeatist attitude, asserting his disdain for surrender without attempting to find a solution. Amidst their conversation, a desperate cry for help pierced the air from behind them. Killian, recognizing the voice as Bridden's, confirmed its source. Eren puzzled over the unexpected presence of Bridden and Luna, recalling that they were supposed to have returned to their own territory. Khazal, sensing something amiss, directed Eren's attention to the source of the voice, revealing the looming figures of the Ancona orcs. Eren's face broke into a determined smile as he rushed toward the commotion, eager to confront the new challenge head-on. Meanwhile, Britain found himself in a precarious situation, attempting to fend off the encroaching orcs in a state of palpable fear. Luna, observing from a distance, harbored doubts about the wisdom of remaining by Britain's side. In a flashback to a few moments earlier, Luna confronted Britain, admonishing him for his reckless actions. She emphasized the gravity of pointing his sword at young Lord Eren, equating it to a direct threat against the Empire itself. Luna warned Britain of the consequences should he choose the path of rebellion. Luna's demand for Britain to sever ties with the Sirad family caught him off guard. Britain pleaded with Luna not to cast him out, promising to ensure her safe passage to the Sirad territory. Luna, unmoved by his plea, reminded Britain of his original duty to protect her. She made it clear that his fate would now be decided by her father, leaving Britain to ponder his uncertain future. In the present moment, confusion reigned as the Ancona orcs confronted Britain, questioning his hostile stance. Eren's sudden arrival startled everyone, prompting Britain to dash towards him. Eren, taken aback by Britain's unexpected presence, pondered how Britain had ascended to the rank of knight. As Killian and the remaining Pendragon forces emerged from behind, warning Eren of the danger of facing the orcs alone, the orcs recognized the Pendragon flag. The leader of the orcs surmised that the man before them must be Eren Pendragon himself. The orc conveyed a desire to speak with Eren, prompting a release of his formidable aura. Killian and the other soldiers found themselves immobilized and breathless in the face of its overwhelming power. Sensing the imminent danger, Killian urged Eren to retreat, but Eren dismounted from his horse, surprising everyone. With calm determination, Eren strode towards the orcs, instructing Killian and the Pendragon soldiers to remain where they were and refrain from drawing their weapons. He assured them that he alone would handle the situation. The orc leader's excitement grew upon hearing Eren's resolve. Eren addressed the orcs, confirming their identity as the Ancona orcs. Karuta, one of the orcs, approached Eren with a challenging tone. In response, Eren's smirk turned into a swift headbutt directed at Karuta, sending him crashing to the ground. The other Ancona orcs erupted into laughter at the unexpected sight of one of their own being bested by a human. Killian and the others looked on in surprise at Eren's bold action. Karuta, still recovering from the blow, questioned Eren's intentions. Eren countered with the same question, reminding Karuta of the Ancona orcs' agreement with Pendragon, which forbade them from leaving the forest. Eren pointed out the violation of this agreement by the orcs' presence outside the forest. Karuta shifted blame to Eren, claiming that Eren's failure to form a pact with the guardian deity of the forest had led to their disobedience. According to Karuta, the Ancona orcs only obey the strong, and since Eren was no longer considered equal to the guardian deity, they saw no reason to heed his commands. Eren pondered Karuta's words, realizing that the guardian deity of the forest must indeed be Soldrake. Karuta declared to Eren that the Ancona orcs had ventured out of the forest to claim the territory and revel in battle at their whim. In response, Eren acknowledged the strength of the Ancona orcs, but expressed his understanding that they wouldn't simply follow his commands. He explained that his purpose in confronting them directly was to negotiate, despite knowing their reluctance to comply. Eren questioned Karuta about his decision to drop his weapon upon seeing Eren unarmed. Karuta admitted that Eren's awareness of Orcish rules, despite being human, impressed him. Eren affirmed his familiarity with these rules, emphasizing the code of honor that dictated one-on-one combat and the absence of weapons when the opponent was unarmed. Proposing a duel following the Ancona orcs rules, Eren and Karuta charged at each other. As Karuta attempted to strike Eren, Eren swiftly dodged the blow. Observing Karuta's strength and agility, Eren acknowledged the superiority of the Ancona orcs over their ordinary counterparts. As Eren soared through the air, Karuta seized the opportunity, aiming a powerful punch at Eren's leg. Eren braced himself and absorbed the blow head-on, causing shock among Killian and the others witnessing the scene. Upon landing, Eren examined his feet and realized that his armor had sustained damage. Despite acknowledging the undeniable might of the Ancona orcs, Eren couldn't shake the memory of faster opponents from his past encounters. Asserting that Karuta wasn't giving his all, Eren challenged him to unleash his full strength. Karuta, however, explained that he held back against humans, deeming them incapable of withstanding the Ancona orcs' assaults. He resolved to reserve his full power only for those who could match his strength. Eren urged Karuta to escalate the confrontation. Recognizing Eren's resilience, Karuta commended him as an intriguing adversary and surged forward with intensified ferocity. Despite Eren's best efforts to evade, Karuta's lightning-fast attacks left him struggling to keep pace. In a desperate attempt to defend himself, Eren raised his hands, but Karuta's devastating punch connected squarely with Eren's defenses, delivering a punishing blow. As the dust settled, Karuta couldn't shake the feeling that his punch had landed, yet something felt off. To his surprise, Eren emerged relatively unscathed, having managed to block Karuta's attack with only minor injuries. Eren attributed his weakened state to facing nothing but small monsters recently, a fact that caught the attention of both Killian and Luna. The orcs, on the other hand, cheered at the unexpected resilience displayed by Eren. Killian, astonished by Eren's endurance after taking a direct hit from an orc, pondered the rarity of a human triumphing in a one-on-one battle against such a formidable opponent. Recognizing Eren as the esteemed heir of the Pendragon Duchy, Killian felt the weight of responsibility to prioritize Eren's safety above all else. He swiftly ordered the soldiers to provide cover for Eren, intending to draw the orcs' attention away. However, Eren intervened, commanding Killian and the soldiers not to move. He declared that the fight was solely between himself and the orc, forbidding any form of cover. In an unexpected turn, the orc mage began to applaud Eren's display of courage and resilience. Acknowledging Eren's resilience in facing Karuta, the strongest of the Ancona orcs, the mage commended Eren for his steadfastness amidst the battle's intensity. Eren, facing Karuta head-on, remarked that the encounter served as good rehabilitation, allowing him to rekindle the familiar sensation of combat. He declared his intention to get serious, fully engaging in the duel. Karuta, surprised by Eren's endurance after receiving his punch, noted the severity of Eren's wound and predicted the duel's imminent conclusion. However, Eren confidently asserted that his healing ability rendered the wound inconsequential. Karuta watched in amazement as Eren's wound miraculously vanished, finding the display fascinating. Expressing his admiration for Eren, Karuta charged forward, wielding his formidable strength. With a swift strike, he attempted to pummel Eren with a hammer fist. However, Eren evaded the attack with nimble agility. In his mind, Eren strategized, recognizing that to defeat Karuta, he needed to neutralize the orc's movements first. As Eren analyzed the situation, he recognized the simplicity of the orc mindset and saw an opportunity to leverage his healing ability in combat against Karuta. He understood that by incorporating his healing into his actions, he could gain the upper hand and defeat the formidable orc. Karuta charged at Eren, questioning the apparent decrease in Eren's energy and expressing his dissatisfaction with Eren's evasion tactics. In response, Eren pointed out the lack of versatility in the Ancona orc's fighting style, frustrating Karuta. As Karuta launched his attack, Eren swiftly maneuvered, anticipating Karuta's movements. With calculated precision, Eren positioned himself to receive Karuta's kick on his arms, sustaining injuries in the process. Killian, observing Eren's injury, grew concerned for his well-being. Karuta, believing he had effectively incapacitated Eren, declared the duel finished. However, to Karuta's astonishment, Eren seized his leg, asserting that it was Karuta who would be defeated. Shocked by Eren's resilience, Karuta doubted his earlier assumption that he had severely injured Eren's arm. Karuta couldn't comprehend how Eren was still able to move his injured arm. He speculated that this must have been Eren's plan all along. Suddenly, Eren leaped onto Karuta, delivering a powerful kick directly to his face. Karuta staggered and collapsed to the ground, stunning Luna and Killian with the unexpected turn of events. Meanwhile, the orc mage observed the scene with a smile, while the other Ancona orcs erupted into excitement at witnessing Karuta's defeat at the hands of a human. Amidst the commotion, they hailed Eren Pendragon as a formidable warrior, acknowledging his strength. As Killian hurried towards Eren, Urging him to tend to his injured arm immediately, Eren reassured him that it wasn't a serious injury. However, Killian couldn't fathom Eren's nonchalant attitude toward the wound. Meanwhile, Eren grimaced as he felt the discomfort of his arm healing, reflecting on the pain of regeneration compared to the injury itself. Despite this, he felt gratitude for the remarkable healing power that had been bestowed upon him. Once his arm had fully healed, Eren approached the Ancona orcs and commanded Kiruda to submit to him. Kiruda, acknowledging the rule of the loser obeying the winner, inquired about Eren's intentions. Eren revealed his plan to launch an attack on the Ancona forest and sought the orcs' assistance in this endeavor. Kiruda, surprised by Eren's audacity, questioned why he would venture into the forest after being defeated by the guardian deity. Eren disclosed his intention to open the mausoleum, leaving the Ancona orcs astonished. Kiruda then questioned whether Eren planned to form a pact with the guardian deity. Eren affirmed Kiruda's speculation, emphasizing the perilous journey that lay ahead through the treacherous territory leading to Soldrake's domain. He pointed out that the Ancona orcs would now have the opportunity to engage in battle every day, a prospect that excited the orcs. They boasted of their strength, confident that they could swiftly overcome any monsters weaker than themselves and reach the mausoleum in record time. With determination, Eren retrieved his sword, prompting all the Ancona orcs to bow before him. He declared that henceforth, they would devote themselves to Pendragon and eagerly anticipated their contributions. Luna, impressed by Eren's newfound leadership, observed the scene with admiration. As Eren prepared to advance, he turned to Luna and offered her a contingent of soldiers to escort her safely to the Cyrid territory. He expressed his desire for Luna to reach her destination without incident, prompting Luna to express her gratitude and apologize for past transgressions. Before departing, Eren addressed Bridden, warning him sternly against ever raising his sword against him again. Bridden, intimidated by Eren's resolve, nodded in acknowledgement as Eren led his forces away from the scene. Emerging from behind, Luna steps forward, her gaze fixed upon Eren Pendragon with a sense of certainty. She believes wholeheartedly that Eren will honor the pact with the dragon and unlock the mausoleum. Luna is deeply impressed by Eren's determination and resolve, feeling assured in his capabilities. As night falls, the group finds themselves at the edge of the Ancona forest. Eren, filled with anticipation, sees this moment as the beginning of the battle he was destined to fight. With resolve in his heart, Eren prepares to embark on the journey that will define his legacy. As Soldrake senses Eren's presence, she reflects on his arrival and the task ahead. Soldrake believes that Eren has come to prove himself worthy of finding the gates to her domain, despite not carrying a Pendragon soul. The scene shifts to the Ancona Forest Valley, where the Ancona orcs and Pendragon soldiers are locked in battle with small monsters. Amidst the chaos, a yellow-haired soldier is overwhelmed by snake-like creatures. Unable to defend himself, he faces imminent danger until Eren steps in, swiftly dispatching the monsters and saving the soldier's life. Grateful for Eren's intervention, the soldier expresses his thanks. Eren then instructs Kratul, the orc mage, to tend to the injured. Kratul reassures the soldiers, promising effective medicine to treat their wounds and ensure their recovery. Approaching Eren, Killian inquires about any injuries. Eren assures Killian that he is unharmed and asks after the soldiers' well-being. Killian reports that there weren't many casualties due to the fewer monsters encountered across the river. As the forces continue their march, Killian worries about the soldiers' stamina if they have to engage in combat with monsters again. Eren, seeking information about their proximity to Soldrake's domain, turns to Kiruda for guidance. Kiruda explains that they are not far from the quarry ruins, beyond which lies a cave leading to the guardian deity's domain. He assures Eren that the journey to the quarry ruins should be safe as it falls within the Ancona orcs' territory, and any threats are minimal, mainly from creatures seeking water. Encouraged by this information, Eren decides to press on to the quarry ruins before nightfall. He plans for the soldiers to set up camp there and search for the cave entrance at dawn. Eren emphasizes that if they encounter any enemies along the way, he and the orcs will handle the situation. With his orders given, the forces depart, determined to reach their destination swiftly. Upon hearing Eren's plan, both Killian and Karuda nodded in understanding. As night fell, the Pendragon forces arrived at the quarry ruins, only to find the entrance blocked. Eren turned to Karuda for an explanation, who informed him that according to the elder orcs, goblins had once mined in the area. However, they had mysteriously vanished, leaving the ruins deserted. Seeking further information, Eren questioned Khazal about the fate of the goblins. Khazal, having not resided in the forest, admitted ignorance on the matter, remarking on goblins' propensity for theft rather than labor. Eren acknowledged the truth in Khazal's observation. With uncertainty looming, Killian sought Eren's guidance on their next course of action. Eren decided that, with nightfall upon them, it was best for the soldiers to remain at the ruins. He instructed 2 orcs to stand guard while Killian arranged for the soldiers to rest in tents. Killian agreed to Eren's plan, preparing to ensure the soldiers' comfort and safety for the night. Eren instructed Killian that both soldiers and orcs should take turns keeping watch. Killian agreed to relay the message to the others. As night fell, the camp settled into a restless slumber. An orc stood guard from a vantage point above, while a soldier kept watch near the tents. Suddenly, a yellow-haired soldier heard a noise and ventured into the forest to investigate. In an instant, he was ambushed and incapacitated by an unseen assailant lurking in the darkness. Meanwhile, inside his tent, Eren couldn't shake a sense of unease. He pondered the mysterious disappearance of the goblins in the area, wondering if they had been erased rather than simply vanishing. Outside, a dark figure cloaked in shadow stood atop a cliff, summoning dark forces. Sensing danger, Eren emerged from his tent just as a monstrous creature lunged at him. With lightning reflexes, Eren dodged the attack, ready to confront the threat head-on. As Eren processed the situation, he realized the unsettling truth behind the goblin's disappearance. Reacting swiftly, he unsheathed his sword and swiftly dispatched one of the wolf monsters. The noise of battle roused the soldiers, orcs, and Killian from their sleep, prompting them to emerge from their tents. Killian was astonished to find Eren single-handedly engaging the wolf monster. With a decisive strike, Eren defeated the creature, but Killian and Karudo approached him, seeking an explanation for the chaos. Their shock deepened as they beheld the skeletal remains of the goblins who had once mined in the area. Eren explained that the culprit behind this sinister manipulation of the dead was none other than a lich. Eren elucidated that only a lich, a powerful sorcerer capable of controlling the dead, could orchestrate such an act. He deduced that the lich had eliminated the goblins and enslaved their corpses to thwart Eren's efforts to open the mausoleum and forge a pact with the dragon. Realizing the dire situation they faced, Eren warned his forces that they were already surrounded. However, he cautioned against engaging the monsters directly. Instead, he urged them to focus their efforts on neutralizing the lich, recognizing that doing so would offer them the best chance of survival. With resolve in his voice, Eren declared that he would locate the sorcerer's true body and defeat it, emphasizing that until then, the orcs and soldiers must hold off the monsters. Upon receiving their orders, the soldiers and orcs charged into battle, engaging the horde of goblins. The orcs displayed remarkable prowess, swiftly dispatching multiple goblins with each strike. However, the sheer number of foes posed a daunting challenge. Observing the chaos, Killian reflected on the nobles who sought to obstruct the resurgence of Pendragon power. Despite their efforts, Killian vowed to thwart their schemes, spurred on by his faith in the transformed Eren. Killian admired the newfound determination of the young lord, recognizing Eren's unwavering commitment to his duty and the legacy of his predecessors. He believed that the current Eren possessed the strength and conviction to control the dragon and restore the Pendragon family to its former glory. With renewed optimism, Killian envisioned a future where the Pendragons reclaimed their rightful place of prominence. He resolved that his days of servitude and despair were over, confident that the Pendragons would rise again under Eren's leadership. As the proud knight of the White Dragon Duke, Killian stood resolute amidst the chaos. Goblins unleashed a barrage of arrows aimed at Eren, prompting him to realize the monsters were targeting his life. Determined to protect himself and continue his pursuit of the lich, Eren swiftly dispatched a snake monster with his sword, and deflected the incoming arrows. Amidst the fray, Eren pondered the interconnectedness of the Pendragon house's downfall and the Valt house's exoneration. He speculated that those meddling with the Pendragons might hold clues to uncovering the truth. With unwavering resolve, Eren vowed to defy the wishes of the Raven and restore his family's power. He saw the interference as an opportunity to unearth the secrets surrounding the Valt house's honor. As Eren triumphed over a formidable adversary, he surveyed the battlefield and noted that the larger monsters had been vanquished, signaling a turning point in the battle. With determination burning in his eyes, Eren pressed forward, ready to confront whatever obstacles lay ahead in his quest to restore the Pendragon legacy. As Eren surveyed the battlefield, he grimly acknowledged that even with only the goblins remaining, the Pendragon forces stood little chance against their overwhelming numbers. The presence of a lich added another layer of peril to the situation. In an abrupt twist that left Eren reeling, a shadowy figure materialized behind him, a dark mage. Liches, those accursed sorcerers who had bartered away their souls for immortality, stood as defiance against the very laws of nature. Their malevolence rendered them prime targets, even in realms as tolerant of magic as this empire. Liches, driven by insatiable ambition, spared no extremity to fulfill their sinister desires. Thus, it came as an anomaly when the Empire tasked the Rakshasa unit with their eradication, a mission often fraught with heavy casualties. The scene then transitions to a haunting memory, where Raven and fellow soldiers were deployed to vanquish a lich. Without warning, comrades fell like leaves in a tempest, leaving Raven bewildered by the sudden carnage. As Raven's gaze fixated upon the motionless lich, a chilling realization dawned. The hand of sorcery was at play. Though tales of liches had only existed in myth, Raven's certainty solidified as the truth unraveled. The lich's most potent ally, invisible to mortal eyes, yet undeniably present, a wraith. Invisible to human eyes, these spirits wielded sickles of death. A mere touch meant instant demise. Returning to the present, Eren's swift blade intercepted the wraith's lethal strike, though comprehension eluded him. As Eren's sword deflected the unseen threat, Killian's urgent cry shattered the chaos, alerting Eren to the sudden demise of their comrades. With dread creeping in, Eren spotted the wraith poised behind Killian, narrowly guiding his ally away from the deadly sickle. Bewildered, Killian struggled to grasp the unfolding peril. Meanwhile, Eren's mind raced with grim understanding. Wraiths possessed an ominous presence, unfamiliar to those unacquainted with their malevolence. Compounding the danger, these spirits persisted until their summoner met their end. Eren's realization struck with chilling certainty. Multiple wraiths lurked in the shadows. Faced with a dire dilemma, Eren weighed the options. To confront the lich and risk the annihilation of Pendragon's forces by a horde of skeletons, or to remain, safeguarding the soldiers from the unseen threat, knowing the wraiths would persist until the sorcerer's demise. In Eren's mind, the realization dawned that Tada and Khazal, blessed with superior night vision, couldn't track down the elusive lich. This wasn't just any mission for the Rakshasa unit. These Pendragon soldiers were comrades he couldn't afford to lose. Determination surged within him as he sought a solution. Suddenly, Kratul emerged from the shadows, offering his aid. With a confidence born of divine gift, Kratul unleashed his special magic, a boon from the god of earth. Tree branches sprang forth at his command, swiftly dispatching the encroaching monsters. Witnessing Kratul's formidable magic, Eren urged him to employ it against their unseen foe. However, Kratul cautioned against haste, explaining the meticulous preparation required for such potent spells. Yet, he assured Eren of his unwavering support and unveiled the rarity of this particular spell. It was a one-time opportunity. With Kratul's magic guiding them, Eren followed the ethereal trail, tracing the aura as it shimmered through the air. Eventually, they reached the precipice where the lich awaited, its sinister presence looming over the cliff's edge. As Eren pinpointed the lich's location, Kratul assured him they'd manage the remaining goblins. With resolve, Eren dashed towards the looming confrontation. Amidst Karuto's skirmish with the goblins, Eren appeared, urgently informing him of the lich's position overhead. With a collaborative effort, Eren leapt onto Karuto's outstretched hand, propelling himself onto the cliff's edge. As Eren confronted the Lich, wasting no time, his strike was met with the Lich's formidable defense. Observing the Lich's retreat, Eren calculated that the Wraith likely joined the fray. With only the goblins left below, Eren sensed the soldiers nearing their limits, spurring him to hasten the battle's conclusion. Yet, the Lich thwarted Eren's advance with a spell, momentarily halting his movement. Swiftly evading the Lich's subsequent attack, Eren prepared to retaliate. But before his strike could land, the Wraith emerged from behind, sickle poised to strike. As Eren narrowly dodged the Wraith's attack, he surmised that the spectral entity aimed to shield the sorcerer. Frustration gnawed at him as the Wraith's interference thwarted his approach to the Lich. Determined to sever the connection between them, Eren strategized his next move. However, his plans were interrupted as the Lich unleashed a burst of flames, catching Eren off guard. Anticipating another assault, Eren braced himself, realizing that dodging would be futile if the Wraith intervened again. True to his fears, the Wraith materialized behind him, sickle poised for a strike. In a moment of desperation, Eren's swords emitted a brilliant blue aura, deflecting the Wraith's attack. The Lich, bewildered by this unexpected turn, struggled to comprehend the situation unfolding before him. Suddenly, a mysterious voice resonated within Eren's mind, prompting him to reveal his identity. As the voice beckoned him to prove his worth, Eren recognized it as Soldrake's. His eyes transforming into those of a dragon, Eren gained newfound clarity, easily discerning the Wraith's presence behind the Lich. Upon laying eyes on the Lich, Eren realized it was his first encounter with a Wraith. As the malevolent spirit moved to strike, Eren unleashed his sword's blue aura, swiftly dispatching the Wraith in an instant. With the spectral menace vanquished, Eren advanced towards the Lich, sword poised for the final blow. Declaring an end to the conflict, Eren channeled the aura of his sword, delivering a decisive strike that felled the Lich. As the last remnants of the goblins ceased their movements, Kratul acknowledged Eren's triumph, recognizing him as the one who had defeated the Lich. The scene transitions to a few moments later, with Eren nestled in his tent, his sword clutched tightly in his hand as he sleeps. In the depths of his dreams, memories unfold before him. Visions of Raven, wrongfully branded a traitor, and the tragic downfall of the Raven family. Amidst the swirl of memories, glimpses of the Pendragon's previous incarnations flicker into view. Suddenly, Eren jolts awake, disoriented by the rush of recollections. Emerging from his tent, he encounters Kratul, who questions Eren's late-night vigil. Inquiring about Kratul's watch duty, Eren learns of the orc's dedication to safeguarding against potential threats, mindful of the dangers that lurk in the darkness. Reflecting on the recent battle, Eren remarks on the peculiar power of the Pendragon's cherished sword, Window's Scream, which had shielded him from the Wraith's lethal sickle with an otherworldly force. Speculating that the aura flames may be linked to Soldrake, the guardian deity of the forests, Eren muses on the mystical properties imbued within the sword. As Kratul listens intently, Eren elaborates on Soldrake's extraordinary abilities, including the legendary dragon's keen insight that transcends the ordinary. Yet, amidst this exchange, Eren grapples with the enigmatic connection between his true identity as Raven and the inexplicable convergence of his dreams with Eren's reality. Sensing Eren's troubled expression, Kratul queries if everything is all right. However, Eren's gaze towards Kratul is laced with anger, causing Kratul to recoil in fear and ask why Eren is looking at him that way. Swiftly composing himself, Eren offers a quick apology, attributing his demeanor to fatigue. Relieved but still concerned, Kratul advises Eren to get some rest. The following day dawns, and as Eren and his forces approach the cave, Karuto, Kratul, and Killian share a sense of foreboding emanating from its depths. Killian remarks on the unusual reaction of creatures with senses keener than humans, indicating that there's something significant within the cave. Eren, too, feels a sense of frustration as he reflects on the past and the looming presence of the mausoleum above the cave. Despite his uncertainties, Eren can't shake the feeling that Soldrake may be awaiting his arrival. Raven understands that he requires the power of the dragon to exact revenge for the Valt family's injustices. Additionally, Eren feels compelled to seek answers from the White Dragon regarding the events of the battleground and the peculiar reincarnation of Raven as Eren Pendragon. Eren is convinced that the White Dragon possesses crucial knowledge. With resolve in his heart, Eren commands his forces to venture into the cave, determined to uncover the truth. As Eren and his forces progress through the cave, Karuto leads the way with his keen senses, guiding them towards the mausoleum. Witnessing Karuto's impressive abilities, Killian is struck by amazement. Eren explains to Killian that orcs possess an acute sense of smell and can perceive subtle changes in airflow, making them ideal guides in such environments. Suddenly, Karuto halts their advance. Concerned, Eren inquires about the reason for the pause. Karuto reveals that he can sense the presence of spirits nearby. They look up to see ethereal beings swirling through the air. Ahead lies a waterfall, prompting Karuto to warn them about the potential presence of a water spirit. Eren questions Karuto about the danger posed by the water spirit. Karuto explains that while spirits are generally harmless, in this desolate cave where life is scarce, the rules may differ. He elaborates that spirits inhabiting such barren places often exhibit abnormal behavior, indicating potential danger. Upon hearing Karuto's assessment, Eren's mind races with possibilities. Killian queries Karuto about the necessity of passing through the waterfall. Karuto confirms that there are stairs concealed behind the cascade, likely leading to the cave's exit. Eren's attention is drawn to a glimmer within the waterfall, resembling a board. Karuto, too, is taken aback by this revelation. Suddenly, the water spirit materializes before Eren and the others, startling them. To their surprise, the spirit manifests in the form of a turtle and launches an attack on the Pendragon forces. Karuto explains to Eren that the shining object he spotted is likely the coveted treasure. The presence of the water spirit suggests that the treasure holds considerable value. Realizing the spirit's intention to protect the treasure by eliminating intruders, Eren resolves to confront it alone. As the water spirit prepares to strike, ready to face the imminent danger, Eren steps forward, positioning his sword in front of him, and commands the water spirit to cease its aggression. A gentle blue aura emanates from Eren's sword, compelling the spirit to retreat. As the spirit dissipates, Eren discovers a shield hidden within the waterfall's depths. With a gesture of generosity, Eren presents the shield to Killian, who identifies it as the water spirit's prized possession. Impressed by Eren's unexpected display of power, Karuto commends him, marveling at his ability to repel the water spirit. Karuto inquires about the sword Eren mentioned the previous night, Widow's Scream. Eren confirms its significance, though uncertain of the reasons behind its influence. Karuto suggests that the sword's power is attributed to the forest's guardian deity, Soldrake. Killian concurs, acknowledging that Soldrake's power is synonymous with Pendragon's power. Reflecting on this revelation, Eren realizes that Raven's reincarnation may not have been solely influenced by Raven's own abilities. With this realization, Eren and his companions finally arrive at the mausoleum. As Eren approaches the entrance of the mausoleum, his sword begins to emit a radiant glow, its vibrations echoing through the air. Sensing the sword's agitation, Eren draws it forth, announcing their arrival at the mausoleum. Suddenly, a dense fog billows from the door, concealing the figure of someone approaching. With apprehension gripping his heart, Eren alerts his comrades to the looming presence. Yet, to their astonishment, the figure materializes into Gordon Pendragon, the former lord of the Pendragon house. Killian stands frozen in disbelief at the unexpected apparition. Observing Gordon's translucent form, Eren ponders the surreal encounter, wondering how he knows the spectral figure's identity. It dawns on Eren that these recollections stem from the memories of his past self. Amidst the surreal moment, Soldrake descends from the sky, casting a spell of awe upon all who witness the majestic sight. Eren's heart races as the white dragon alights behind Gordon Pendragon. Soldrake's voice reverberates through the air, posing a probing question to Eren, leaving him stunned and speechless. As Killian and the orcs stand in stunned silence at the sight of Gordon Pendragon speaking, Eren's mind races with revelations. He recognizes the voice he just heard as the same one from his previous life as Raven, echoing a meeting in Pendragon's tent. Eren realizes that this voice belongs not to him nor to Gordon, but to Soldrake. The White Dragon is addressing him, not as Eren, but as someone else entirely. Soldrake's inquiry pierces the air once more, demanding to know Eren's true identity. With resolve, Eren declares his full name as Eren Pendragon. However, Soldrake descends closer, asserting that Eren cannot deceive the dragon's keen eyes. The question lingers in the air, pressing Eren for a response. Suddenly, a searing pain grips Eren's head, causing him to collapse in agony. Memories flood his consciousness, a torrent of recollections and nightmares that he cannot escape. Eren realizes that he is not witnessing these memories by choice, but that Soldrake is revealing them to him, unraveling the truth hidden within his past. As the White Dragon draws nearer, its imposing presence looming over Eren, the floodgates of memories burst open within Eren's mind. Overwhelmed, he collapses to the ground, shocking Killian and the orcs witnessing the scene. Just as Eren is on the brink of revealing his true identity to the dragon, a deluge of memories from his past life floods his consciousness. In the midst of this torrent of recollections, Eren suddenly awakens, his resolve firm. He declares to Soldrake that his true identity is none other than Eren Pendragon, heir to the Pendragon's ducal house. At this revelation, a smile graces Gordon Pendragon's face before he vanishes from sight. The roar of the White Dragon reverberates through the air, sending tremors through the soldiers and orcs struggling to maintain their composure. Soldrake descends toward Eren, confirming that the pact has been forged between Eren Pendragon and Raven Valt. Soldrake assures Eren that he is the one destined to carry on the Pendragon legacy. Amidst the tumult, Killian, Tada, Khazal, and the other orcs rush to Eren's side, concern etched on their faces as they inquire about his well-being. Eren's voice resonates with triumph as he declares his success in forging a pact with the White Dragon. Killian and the others erupt into jubilation at this news, their faces alight with joy. Observing the scene, Karuto and Krudel exchange knowing glances, recognizing that young Lord Eren is now poised to become the guardian of the forest, a position of great significance. Karuto remarks to Krudel that Eren's strength was evident even in his victory over the Ancona orcs. Soldrake's attention is drawn skyward, prompting Eren to inquire about the cause of the dragon's distraction. Soldrake's response sends a shiver down Eren's spine as he realizes they have unwelcome guests approaching. Gazing upward, Eren's astonishment mounts as he beholds 6 dragons descending upon their location. The dragons encircle the Pendragon forces, their imposing presence casting a foreboding shadow. One dragon, named Anyahalt, addresses Eren as the Queen's new partner, eliciting Soldrake's inquiry into their uninvited arrival. Soldrake questions why the 6 dragons have ventured into Soldrake's domain without invitation, given their lack of association with the pact forged between Soldrake and the Pendragons. However, Elagrain, a green dragon among them, interjects, signaling that their intentions differ this time. Elagrain asserts that they have come to Soldrake, as they believe Soldrake is aware of the reason for their visit. Soldrake, however, does not feel compelled to provide an explanation to Elagrain, prompting a moment of silence from the green dragon. Amuhalt then addresses Queen Soldrake, noting that the human before them emanates not only Soldrake's aura, but also those of both the dragon and demon gods. Soldrake responds with a resounding roar, sending tremors through the dragons in her presence. Firmly, Soldrake commands the uninvited guests to depart her territory immediately, asserting her authority as the Dragon Queen. Eren is taken aback by this revelation of Soldrake's royal status. As the dragons prepare to depart, Amuhalt assures Soldrake that they will leave for now. However, Amuhalt cryptically hints that when that man eventually visits the rest of the dragons, clarity will dawn. With that, the dragons take flight, leaving Karuto and Krudel bewildered by the exchange. Khazal remarks on the dragons speaking, prompting Krudel to explain that only those on equal footing with dragons can hear their voices. Before the pact, Krudel could also hear the dragons through Gordon Pendragon. However, now that the pact has been formed, only young Master Eren can communicate with them. Eren realizes that he was the only one privy to that conversation. Soldrake's voice did indeed change after forming the pact with him. More importantly, Eren ponders the significance of the 6 dragons, the dragon god and the demon god. There are too many mysteries that Eren doesn't comprehend. Eren wonders if Soldrake knows everything, including why Raven was reincarnated as Eren. Eren then asks Soldrake if he could lower her head, as his neck hurts from craning upwards. Soldrake responds to Eren's request by suggesting a better alternative. With a graceful transformation, Soldrake takes on the form of a stunning woman with wings adorning her back. Eren, Killian, and the orcs are taken aback by Soldrake's striking new appearance. The scene unfolds amidst the dense embrace of the forest, where the Pendragon forces retreat toward their territory, led by Soldrake and Eren at the forefront. Amidst the march, Karuta turns to Killian, questioning why he doesn't approach Eren and Soldrake to inquire about their discussion. In response, Killian directs Karuta to pursue the answers himself. Karuta expresses hesitation, noting the challenge of approaching the guardian deity of the forest, the Ancona orcs unable to casually engage with such entities. Killian counters, acknowledging even his own inability to comprehend the discourse between Eren and Soldrake, hindered by an inexplicable inability to hear Soldrake's voice and, peculiarly, the voice of young Lord Eren at that moment. Moreover, Killian expresses disbelief at the notion of a dragon assuming human form, an unfamiliar concept to him. Meanwhile, Eren turns to Soldrake, seeking clarification regarding the identity of the 6 dragons who displayed apparent discontent with Eren's pact with Soldrake. Eren presses Soldrake for insight into the nature of the dragons' dispute. Soldrake's response to Eren's inquiries was cryptic, stating that time would reveal the answers Eren sought. Perplexed by Soldrake's enigmatic words, Eren pressed further, reminding the dragon of the glimpses of Eren's past life as Raven, including the mysterious circumstances surrounding Raven's demise and Balti's cryptic messages. Eren questioned whether Soldrake had insight into the reason behind Raven's reincarnation as Eren. Yet, once again, Soldrake deferred to the passage of time for understanding. Growing frustrated by Soldrake's evasive responses, Eren demanded clarity, questioning why the dragon repeated the same refrain. Soldrake, unfazed by Eren's agitation, remarked on Eren's verbosity, noting the rarity of a Pendragon seeking dialogue with him. Eren, puzzled by Soldrake's inscrutability, had anticipated gaining enlightenment through their pact, but found himself met with further ambiguity. Suddenly, chaos erupted as a monstrous serpent lunged at Eren. Before Eren could react, Soldrake sprang into action, swiftly dispatching the creature with a single decisive strike. Eren and the soldiers stood in stunned silence, marveling at the dragon's astounding speed and prowess. After swiftly dispatching the monstrous serpent, Soldrake stoically approached the fallen creature's carcass, much to the astonishment of the soldiers. Witnessing the dragon eating the monster, Killian couldn't help but reflect that a dragon, regardless of its guise, remained inherently draconic. The scene transitions to a few moments later, with the camp established and Soldrake perched on a sturdy tree branch. Eren approached, kindling a fire before commencing to prepare a meal for Soldrake. As Eren offered her culinary creation, Eren encouraged Soldrake to partake in the human experience of consuming cooked food. Soldrake, indulging in the meal, remarked on Eren's uniqueness as a Pendragon. Eren, revealing his true name as Raven, momentarily stunned Soldrake. Despite Eren's contemplation of disclosing his true identity to others, she acknowledged the futility of such an endeavor. Sharing a glimpse into Eren's past life as Raven, Eren recounted her penchant for such gestures. Soldrake, touched by Eren's revelation, suggested Eren address her by the shortened name, Sol, henceforth. Surprised by Sol's smile, Eren marveled at the notion of dragons expressing such emotion. Eren's curiosity then turned to the enigmatic figures of the dragon god and the demon god, yet Sol deflected her inquiries, citing the wisdom of time. Frustrated by the dragon's continual deferral, Eren's patience wore thin. News spreads like wildfire through the Pendragon Palace that Eren has returned after forging a pact with the White Dragon. Selena and Irene beam with joy at the news, Selena's maternal pride evident as she revels in her son's accomplishment. Lindsay, her thoughts filled with concern since bidding Eren farewell at the Bellant Gate, now finds solace in his safe return. Eren and his forces arrive at the Pendragon territory, greeted by jubilant crowds. Among the throng, Irene, Selena, and the ever-stoic butler Lindsay observe with surprise as Eren's contingent includes orcs, goblins, harpies, and a winged girl. Eren's proclamation rings out, declaring the White Dragon once more allied with the Pendragon, leaving everyone in stunned disbelief. As the White Dragon, Soul, transforms before their eyes, the palace erupts into astonished murmurs. The scene shifts to the grandeur of the palace halls, where festivities ensue in honor of Eren's return with the White Dragon. Lindsay confides in Irene, expressing awe at her first experience of such lavish celebration within the castle walls. Irene leaned in to share with Lindsay the reason behind the extravagant festivities, a celebration to honor the newly formed pact between Eren and the White Dragon. She explained that lords from neighboring lands and affluent merchants had gathered to partake in the revelry. Curiosity piqued, Lindsay scanned the room for young Lord Eren, puzzled by his absence. Meanwhile, the scene shifted to Eren, engaged in conversation with Soul. Eren inquired why Soul had chosen not to attend the feast. Soul replied that she had conversed enough with her pact partner, whether it be Eren or Raven. Eren countered, reminding Soul of her reticence in sharing information. Soul explained that, as the heir to the Pendragon, Eren would be occupied with hosting duties. Eren conceded, acknowledging the myriad responsibilities that awaited him. Eren marveled at Soul's understanding of human society, prompting Soul to reveal her lengthy tenure with the Pendragon household. She added that the notion of a dragon attending a feast had never been entertained. Eren, intrigued, questioned why not, considering Soul's ability to assume human form. Soul's gaze bore into Eren, her words carrying an unexpected weight as she remarked on his uniqueness among the Pendragons of yore. With that, she soared into the sky, leaving Eren bewildered by her cryptic words. In the wake of Soul's departure, a flurry of noblewomen descended upon Eren, eager to hear the tale of his pact with the dragon. Eren found himself overwhelmed by their sudden attention, his astonishment growing as the women began to quarrel amongst themselves. From the sidelines, Lindsay observed Eren's predicament, noting with a mixture of amusement and concern the chaos unfolding around him. As Eren extricated himself from the fracas, he couldn't help but feel disdain for the bickering nobles, deeming them all foolish. Turning away from the commotion, Eren's gaze fell upon Mia, engrossed in play with the orcs, Khazal, and Tata. A smile tugged at his lips as he approached them, eager to join in their merriment. Lindsay, witnessing Eren's genuine joy, felt a warmth spread within her as she watched him revel in the simple pleasures of camaraderie. Later that night, Lindsay guided Eren to Lady Selena's chambers, where she awaited him. Expressing her delight at seeing Eren's happiness, Lindsay confessed that it had been too long since she had witnessed such genuine joy. Eren turned to Lindsay with a furrowed brow, questioning why his mother wished to see him at such a late hour. Lindsay, equally puzzled, admitted her own lack of insight as they approached the chamber door. To their surprise, a line of noblewomen awaited them inside, their presence perplexing Eren and Lindsay alike. Eren's mother, standing regally at the head of the room, addressed her son solemnly. She explained that as a Pendragon who had forged a pact with the dragon, Eren was expected to choose a bride from among the assembled noblewomen. Eren's astonishment was palpable as the weight of her words sank in. Selena observed Eren's reaction keenly before addressing him with a solemn tone. She explained that the tradition demanded a Pendragon who had forged a pact with the dragon to produce an heir with a young noblewoman from a neighboring country. Originally, the engagement had been intended with the daughter of Count Sirad Luna, but circumstances had led to its dissolution. Irene chimed in, informing her brother that the assembled ladies were from families of equal renown to Sirad's. As the noblewomen descended into another bout of squabbling over who would be chosen as Eren's bride, Eren turned to his mother with a question. Did he have to make his decision here and now? Selena confirmed that it was indeed tradition. Yet, Eren stunned everyone by declaring Lindsay as his chosen bride. The room fell into a shocked silence at his unexpected proclamation. Selena, taken aback, clarified the true purpose of the tradition, to ensure the prosperity of the Pendragon family. Eren acknowledged this, but countered that the noblewomen had gathered to celebrate his pact with the dragon. With a determined gaze, Eren continued, asserting that individuals like Lindsay, who had proven their loyalty and dedication to the Pendragon family during times of crisis, would indeed become the true strength of the Pendragon lineage when faced with pivotal moments that would shape their fate. He turned to his mother, reminding her of Lindsay's unwavering care during his 3-year unconsciousness, a gesture that caused Lindsay to blush with embarrassment. However, the noblewomen interjected, dismissing Lindsay's significance due to her station as a maid. Eren, unyielding, rebuked their narrow-mindedness, condemning those who relied solely on the status of their family names without possessing any personal merit. The noblewomen recoiled in shock at Eren's boldness. Undeterred, Eren continued, emphasizing that he already had comrades who stood by him faithfully, even during the family's lowest moments. He spoke of Killian and the soldiers under his command, the steadfast Ancona orcs, as well as Goblin Khazal and Harpy Tata, who had remained by his side in the Mausoleum. These, Eren declared, were his reliable allies, and he proclaimed that the Pendragon family was no longer weak enough to depend solely on alliances. The joyous revelation brought smiles to the faces of Irene, Selena, and Lindsay. Eren turned to Lindsay, seeking her thoughts on becoming his wife. With unwavering certainty, Lindsay affirmed her readiness, prompting Eren to declare her as the Lady of Pendragon from that moment forth. A few moments later, Lady Atia approached Eren, praising his remarkable performance. Surprised by her continued presence despite the mausoleum's opening, Eren questioned her motives. Lady Atia admitted her desire to see the face of the Pendragon heir before departing. Reflecting on Eren's transformation since their initial encounter, she cautioned him about the challenges ahead in an era devoid of alliances. Eren, undeterred, shared his optimism with Lady Atia. He spoke of the Pendragon's regained strength through their pact with the dragon and anticipated the influx of individuals eager to serve the family. Drawing upon his knowledge as Raven, Eren expressed confidence in recognizing future heroes who would carve their names in history. Lady Atia was taken aback by Eren's ambitious plan. As Eren elaborated on his strategy to establish relationships with potential heroes, transforming them into loyal allies, Lady Atia's shock gave way to admiration. She expressed her belief that Eren possessed all the qualities necessary to lead with excellence, leaving her with no regrets. Eren then revealed another startling revelation. 6 dragons had appeared during his pact with Sol. Lady Atia's astonishment grew as Eren recounted the presence of a black dragon and the cryptic references to a dragon god and demon god. Eren speculated that these entities might be connected to Raven's reincarnation as himself, a theory supported by Balti's enigmatic words. Lady Atia confessed that this was the first she had heard of the dragon god and demon god, signaling the depth of mystery surrounding these mythical figures. Lady Atia turned to Eren with a probing gaze, inquiring if Soldrake had shed any light on the matter they discussed. Eren shook his head, recounting Soldrake's repetitive response that time will teach him, a phrase that seemed to be the dragon's refrain. Reflecting on their conversation, Lady Atia remarked on Eren's apparent rapport with Soldrake. Perplexed, Eren questioned her meaning. With a knowing smile, Lady Atia pointed out that Eren had been referring to Soldrake as Sol for some time. Eren explained that Soldrake had encouraged him to use the nickname, a detail he had only shared with Lady Atia and Soldrake. As they spoke, Eren suddenly gasped in shock as Eren saw Lady Atia starts to vanish before his eyes. Lady Atia gently informed Eren that she had to depart, leaving him momentarily bewildered by her sudden announcement. Sensing his confusion, she reassured him, expressing her belief that Eren possessed the capability to achieve both Raven's and Eren's goals. Eren, moved by her faith in him, embraced his grandmother gratefully, thanking her for her unwavering support over the years. Encouraged by Lady Atia's words, Eren pledged to continue moving forward, both as himself and as Raven Valt. Determined to prove his grandmother's faith justified, Eren vowed to demonstrate his ability to achieve their shared aspirations. The scene then transitioned to the castle, where Eren Pendragon and Lindsay Conrad prepared for their marriage ceremony. Alone in his room afterward, Eren was visited by Sol. Sol remarked on Eren's choice of bride, prompting Eren to explain his decision. He cited the complexities of political marriages and the inevitability of discussions about heirs, emphasizing that his choice had been made with strategic considerations in mind. Sol inquired of Eren whether he harbored no interest in Lindsay, to which Eren responded by affirming his trust in her, stemming from her care during his 3-year immobility. Curious about Sol's sudden disappearance, Eren questioned her whereabouts during that time. Sol explained that she resided in her lair, a stone dragon statue atop the cliff behind Pendragon Castle, ever since forming a pact with a Pendragon. Eren, puzzled, asked if Sol didn't grow bored in solitude. Sol revealed that even if she ventured out, no one could hear her voice. Eren countered, noting that heads of the Pendragon lineage could hear her, but Sol admitted to seldom conversing with them. Neither Gordon from the last generation nor Klein from the previous one. Eren was taken aback, prompting Sol to reveal that it seemed they didn't want her to assume human form, leading her to respect their wishes and remain in her lair. As Eren pondered Sol's previous remark about his talkativeness, he reflected on the rarity of a Pendragon engaging in conversation with her over the centuries. Sol interjected, reminding him of their unique partnership, encompassing both Eren and Raven. Feeling a sudden urge to change the dynamics of their interaction, Eren suggested that Sol could address him however she pleased. Surprised by this proposition, Sol decided to refer to him as Ray henceforth. Memories flooded Eren's mind, recalling how Raven's brother used to call him by that name. Concerned that Eren might be discontented with the change, Sol questioned him. Yet, Eren assured her that he welcomed the new moniker, urging her to use it from that moment onward. Sol's smile widened, confirming her belief that Ray was unlike any Pendragon she had encountered before. Gazing skyward, Sol murmured the name of the first Pendragon, Alex Pendragon, expressing her hope that this time she would finally fulfill her promise to him. The news of Eren Pendragon's pact with the White Dragon spread like wildfire across the entire empire. Mercenaries, upon hearing the tidings, viewed Pendragon in a new light. Despite their small territory and scant knights, they saw potential for advancement, even the prospect of noble titles, if they aligned themselves with Pendragon and executed their duties diligently. Turning to their comrade, a masked figure, for his opinion, the scene shifted to a guy seated, absorbed in reading about Eren Pendragon's feats. Fascinated by Pendragon's ability to not only subdue a dragon but also monsters and orcs, found Eren to be an intriguing individual. In the Sirad territory, Count Sirad grappled with shock upon learning of Eren Pendragon's alliance with the White Dragon. Unsure of the next course of action, he pondered his options. Meanwhile, Luna, his daughter, couldn't shake her thoughts about Eren, her mind consumed by the news. In a dimly lit room, a man cloaked in black conversed with a brown-haired companion, both acknowledging Eren Pendragon as a hindrance to their plans. The cloaked man, addressing Balti, entrusted him with the task of dealing with Eren Pendragon, emphasizing the importance of their success relying on Balti's actions. The scene unfolds at the Bellant Gate, where Killian, brimming with enthusiasm, rallies the new recruits, urging them to exhibit spirit and diligence in their training despite having only been at it for an hour. Yet, we witness the weariness etched on the faces of these fresh trainees. Undeterred, Killian sternly reminds them that exhaustion is not a trait befitting a knight of Pendragon, igniting a newfound determination within them. Observing from the sidelines, Eren nods approvingly at Killian's leadership, commending his efforts. Eager to gauge the progress of the recruits, Eren engages Killian in conversation. Killian, with a hint of disappointment, shares his observation that many aspiring knights nowadays are more talk than action. In response, Eren offers reassurance, acknowledging the inevitable adjustment period when recruiting in bulk. He emphasizes Killian's pivotal role in molding these recruits, bestowing upon him the title of commander, a moment that visibly stirs Killian's passion. Embracing his newfound designation, Killian pivots towards the soldiers, urging them to strive for excellence. As Eren observes the scene unfolding before him, a contemplative air envelopes his thoughts. He reflects on the recent events, noting a singular enthusiasm amidst the gathering of new recruits, each harboring aspirations for the coveted knighthood. His mind wanders to the cryptic words of the 6 dragons regarding the dragon god and the demon god, a reminder of the looming uncertainty that hangs over them, despite the absence of immediate threats. In this calm before the storm, Eren recognizes the prudence in fortifying the forces of Pendragon, a strategic measure to brace themselves for the inevitable clashes on the horizon. His gaze drifts upward to the castle's roof, where Sol stands alongside her griffins, her departure from her sanctuary signaling a shift in the status quo. Eren observes the familial bond between Sol and her majestic companions, sensing an unparalleled contentment radiating from her. In a moment of telepathic connection, Sol alerts Eren to the approaching knights, her voice resonating in his mind with urgency. Turning his attention back to the courtyard, Eren watches as the knights converge upon Killian, their seasoned demeanor betraying their wealth of experience in battles fought across distant lands. From the vantage point of the new recruits, these knights embody a sense of freedom, their nomadic existence defined by unwavering reliance on their weapons and skills. The new recruit is certain that these free knights have caught wind of the Pendragon's resurgence and have arrived to pledge their swords to the Pendragon cause. Killian steps forward, proudly identifying himself as the commander of the Order of the White Dragon under the Pendragon banner. One of the knights introduces himself as Reed Pollock, a free knight hailing from Evendell, expressing his desire to find a place where he can truly showcase his skills. Another knight, Barrio, echoes Reed's sentiment, seeking the same opportunity to prove himself. Curiosity piqued, Killian inquires about the identity of the masked figure among them. Without hesitation, the enigmatic individual declares to Killian that he has no name to offer. Killian's surprise is palpable, prompting Barrio to step forward and explain that neither Reed nor himself are privy to the masked man's true identity. Reed further reveals that they encountered the masked figure during their travels and, as fate would have it, they've been journeying together towards a common destination. Upon hearing this, Killian concludes that the masked individual harbors the same aspiration to join the ranks of the Pendragon Knights. Barrio nods in agreement with Killian's assessment, acknowledging the current state of the Pendragon Order without a proper head of knights. He asserts that with the combined skills of himself and Reed, they can fortify the Pendragon armies while simultaneously reaping the rewards of wealth and fame. The Pendragon soldiers bristle with indignation at this suggestion, their loyalty to their order evident in their reactions. Just as tensions reach a crescendo, Eren strides into the scene, diffusing the hostility with calm authority. He assures everyone that the origin of these knights matters little in the face of their capabilities, emphasizing the importance of skill over attitude. Killian and Reed exchange surprised glances at Eren's unorthodox stance, but Eren further clarifies that only prowess in combat truly matters. With a nod from Eren, Killian eagerly steps up to the challenge, a gleam of excitement in his eyes. Barrio steps forward to meet Killian, but the seasoned Pendragon Knight proves his mettle, standing firm against Barrio's advance. The new recruits watch in awe as Killian's skill becomes evident, culminating in a decisive strike that brings Barrio to the ground, showcasing the prowess of the Pendragon Knights. As Killian turns to Reed, shock etches across his features at Barrio's swift defeat. Frustration seething within him, Reed launches into a relentless assault against Killian, but the seasoned knight effortlessly parries each blow, swiftly turning the tide in his favor. With a deft maneuver, Killian dispatches Reed as well, eliciting cheers from the watching recruits who marvel at his skill. Curious about the potential of these free knights, Killian turns to Eren for insight. Eren reassures him that despite their unorthodox origins, these knights possess considerable strength, making them valuable assets for Pendragon. Turning his attention to the masked figure, Eren prompts him to face Killian in combat, but the enigmatic individual declines, expressing disinterest. Killian bristles at the masked figure's informal demeanor towards Eren and demands to know his name. Unfazed, the masked figure maintains his anonymity, further fueling Killian's ire. In a fit of anger, Killian charges at the masked figure, only to be met with astonishment as the masked figure effortlessly subdues him. The new recruits stare in disbelief at this unexpected turn of events, while Eren can't help but smile, recognizing the masked figure's formidable strength. Determined to enlist him in Pendragon's ranks by any means necessary, Eren watches on with anticipation. Upon witnessing the masked figure's prowess, Eren boldly declares himself as the next challenger for the Cavaliers of Valvas. Valvas, taken aback by Eren's audacity, questions his intentions. Unfazed, Eren reminds Valvas that he faces not just any opponent, but a young lord of Pendragon. With a pointed gesture of his sword towards Valvas, Eren issues a challenge, adhering to the sacred customs of dueling among the Cavaliers of Valvas. The mention of Valvas sparks astonishment among Killian and the other soldiers. Hailing from the distant and tumultuous southern regions, Valvas Cavaliers are renowned for their combat prowess, forged in the crucible of perpetual warfare that defines their homeland. In these lands of constant conflict, where territories clash and alliances shift like the sands, the Cavaliers of Valvas stand as formidable warriors, embodying the skills of countless seasoned fighters. Killian finds himself taken aback by the presence of a Valvas cavalier in their midst. Rumors of their exploits may have circulated, but encountering one in person is a rarity beyond imagination. Yet, what astounds him even more is Eren's familiarity with the Cavaliers of Valvas, a testament to the depth of Eren's knowledge and the mysteries surrounding his past. Meanwhile, Eren's mind races with recognition as he observes the mysterious figure. With a single glance, Eren discerns telltale signs of the Valvas Knights. The distinctive attire, the unmistakable accent of the southern lands, and the hallmark dual swords, one long, one short, strapped to the figure's back. Memories of battles fought in a past life flood Eren's thoughts, memories of facing Valvas Knights in the southern reaches. But it's not just the swords that catch Eren's eye. It's the readiness for combat evident in every aspect of the figure's appearance. From the mace and shield secured to the saddle to the presence of a crossbow, Eren recognizes a seasoned warrior prepared for any eventuality. Addressing the figure, Eren remarks on the unwavering pride of the Cavaliers of Valvas, who bow to none but those they deem worthy. Even the Emperor himself cannot compel a Valvas Knight to lower their head, such is their confidence in their own prowess. Eren surmises that the figure seeks a master capable of wielding his sword, but the figure refutes this, claiming to have abandoned such notions in favor of following the guidance of the stars. Amidst the unfolding scene, it comes to light that the Valvas warrior had joined the ranks of the Free Knights in exchange for water. Eren reflects on the significance of astrology to the people of Valvas, recognizing the role of celestial guidance in their lives. With a knowing nod, Eren acknowledges the alignment of fate that led the Valvas warrior to the Pendragon stronghold. Drawing his sword, the Valvas warrior asserts the principles by which Cavaliers of Valvas abide. They do not serve for wealth, status, or trivialities. Instead, their loyalty demands a far greater price, the willingness to risk life itself. Should Eren desire the allegiance of a Valvas warrior, he must be prepared to stake his life on the outcome of their duel. With resolve in his eyes, Eren accepts the terms, understanding the gravity of facing a Valvas Knight in combat. As the duel commences, Reed remarks to Barrio on Eren's impressive stance and the mercenary-like quality of his sword. Eren wastes no time, charging at the Valvas warrior with ferocious speed, catching Killian and the others off guard. Yet, despite Eren's swift assault, the Valvas warrior effortlessly parries his attack, swiftly disarming him and pinning his sword to the ground. In a swift and fluid exchange of blows, the Valvas warrior unleashes his second sword, aiming a strike at Eren. With remarkable agility, Eren evades the attack, countering with a swift thrust of his own. However, the Valvas warrior proves equally adept, deftly sidestepping Eren's assault with a mere graze, leaving a cut on Eren's cheek in return. As their swords clash in a symphony of steel, they momentarily break apart, sizing each other up. The shock on Killian and the others' faces is palpable as they witness the intensity of the duel. Eren, breathing heavily, confesses his disbelief at missing his usual trump card, a tactic that typically proves effective against dual-wielding opponents like the Valvas warrior. He recounts how, in a moment of imbalance caused by the Valvas warrior's smaller sword, he had seized the opportunity to launch a spinning cut, only to find himself swiftly countered by the Valvas warrior's relentless assault aimed at his head. Acknowledging the Valvas warrior's formidable strength, Eren is met with a probing question about his true identity. The Valva's warrior finds it difficult to believe that Eren could be the son of a mere noble. In response, Eren reveals a surprising truth. He sees himself as no different from the Valva's warrior, bound by the same indomitable spirit and thirst for battle. Having faced down countless monsters and soldiers in his past, Eren recounts to Valvas how each encounter was not an act of indiscriminate violence, but rather a means of survival. He explains how the very essence of the Valva's warrior, fierce and unyielding, resonates within him, fueling his own determination. Observing the shift in Valvas's demeanor as he readies both swords, Eren remarks with a hint of admiration that the nameless Valvas has finally chosen to take the duel seriously. The scene shifts to Karuto and Krudel, accompanied by Mia, awakening to the sound of commotion. Curiosity piqued, they venture forth to investigate, only to be met with astonishment upon discovering Eren engaged in a duel with a formidable swordsman. Each exchange of blows between Eren and the Valva's warrior is met with mutual admiration, leaving Karuto and Krudel in awe of the unknown swordsman who matches the young master's skill. Meanwhile, as the duel unfolds, the Valva's warrior narrowly misses a strike, prompting Eren to feint and launch a counterattack. The display of Eren's prowess garners impressed murmurs from Killian and the surrounding knights. However, their amazement is short-lived as the Valva's warrior adeptly blocks Eren's feint with his second sword. In a fluid sequence of movements, the Valva's warrior swings his sword, but Eren deftly evades by leaping over the blade. Seizing the opportunity while airborne, Eren attempts to strike the Valva's warrior, yet the agile swordsman evades the attack with equal finesse. As Eren lands gracefully on the ground, the Valva's warrior charges forward. Despite Eren's quick reflexes allowing him to dodge the initial assault, the Valva's warrior surprises everyone with a cunning feint, swiftly striking Eren from the left with his second sword. As the duel reaches a critical moment, Eren swiftly blocks the Valva's warrior's strike from the right, seizing the warrior's hand before he can deliver another blow. Acknowledging each other's skill, they exchange words of respect. However, in a sudden turn of events, the Valva's warrior executes a swift feet sweep, catching Eren off guard. Reacting with lightning reflexes, Eren plants his hand on the ground, propelling himself out of harm's way. Capitalizing on the opening, Eren launches a retaliatory kick at the Valva's warrior. Their clash resumes with renewed intensity, leaving onlookers like Reed and Barrio in shock at the sheer skill displayed in the duel. Even Karuto finds himself astounded by Eren's prowess against the formidable Valva's warrior. In a bold move, Eren reveals his strategy to exploit the weakness of dual wielders. The Valva's warrior, intrigued, queries Eren about this vulnerability. Without hesitation, Eren hurls a handful of sand into the warrior's eyes, forcing him to retreat momentarily to regain his composure. With determination blazing in his eyes, Eren charges at the Valva's warrior, only to find himself abruptly halting as the warrior drops his sword. Karuto and Killian share a moment of shock at this unexpected turn of events. Without missing a beat, the Valva's warrior moves to strike at Eren with his right arm, but before the blow can connect, Eren deftly positions his sword near the warrior's neck, effectively ending the duel. The sight leaves Killian and the surrounding onlookers stunned. Acknowledging the Valva's warrior's formidable skill, Eren expresses his admiration for the Cavaliers of Valvas and credits his victory to the aid of his cherished sword. He admits that without it, the outcome may have been different. In a display of humility, the Valva's warrior bows before Eren, conceding defeat. With a sense of reverence, he reveals his name to be Elkanisla, pledging to serve as Eren's sword and vanquish his adversaries. The gathered crowd erupts into cheers for Eren's triumph. Meanwhile, Eren is taken aback by the revelation of Elkin's name. The new recruit soldiers turn to Killian with curiosity, inquiring if Elkanisla is a renowned knight. To their surprise, Killian and the other free knights admit that they've never heard of him before. Killian wonders if young Lord Eren is familiar with this mysterious knight. Meanwhile, Eren is shocked by the revelation. Elkanisla, known as the Stormbringer, was a legendary figure in Eren's previous life, a formidable cavalier of Valvas whose exploits earned him widespread recognition. Serving under the Duchy of Erangis, Isla fought in numerous battles, carving out a name for himself as one of the Empire's most distinguished warriors. However, in the current timeline, Isla's fame has yet to reach its zenith, leaving him poised to become a hero of renown in the future. Seizing the moment, Eren takes a seat before Isla, surprising Killian and the others with his boldness. He instructs Isla to lift his head, declaring that Isla will serve as the sword while Eren assumes the role of master. However, Eren emphasizes that their positions do not signify differing levels of importance. Rather, they simply fulfill different roles in their partnership. With a warm smile, Eren extends an invitation to Isla, expressing his desire for Isla to join him as a comrade like everyone else. Surprised by the unexpected offer, Isla remarks that Eren is indeed an intriguing individual. Interrupting the moment, Sol calls out to Eren, prompting her descent from the palace roof accompanied by her majestic griffins. Isla's astonishment is palpable at the sight of the mythical creatures. As Sol approaches Eren, Reed and Barrio exchange bewildered glances, unaware of her identity. Killian enlightens them, revealing Sol as the White Dragon, a revelation that leaves Reed and Barrio in shock. Eren introduces Isla to Sol as Soldrake, his pact partner and the White Dragon of Pendragon. Unfazed, Isla approaches Sol without a hint of fear, surprising Reed and Barrio with his unwavering composure in the presence of the legendary creature. Reflecting on Isla's demeanor, Eren recalls his own overwhelming reaction upon first encountering Sol in his previous life. He muses on Isla's intriguing character, noting the depth of strength and resolve hidden beneath his calm exterior. As Eren gazes up at the sky, his mind is consumed with plans to venture beyond the confines of their territory. His objective, to seek out individuals of renown from his previous life. Among them, he seeks the likes of Eden Dorian, a young merchant said to possess a fortune rivaling that of the Emperor, hailing from the bustling free city of Ovilla. Then there's Jean Oberon, an eccentric magician dwelling in a tower amidst the vast forests of Asha in southern Valvas, renowned for his creation of mystical artifacts. And not to be forgotten is Ivan Zitter, a remarkable general who, at the tender age of 20, conquered the entire northern region with a mere few hundred mercenaries. Eren reflects on the invaluable resource his memories from his previous life provide him. They serve as a guide to securing the most exceptional talents before anyone else. However, before he can delve further into his plans, Krudel receives a message from his elders through a magical communication ore. Intrigued by the crystal, Killian queries Krudel about its significance. Krudel enlightens Killian about the magical communication ore, a treasured possession passed down through generations in the Orc village. With its aid, Krudel can easily communicate with the elders using sorcery. As he reads the message, Krudel relays alarming news. Humans have infiltrated the Ancona forest, accompanied by armed mercenaries numbering in the dozens. Eren's surprise is palpable upon hearing this revelation. Further details emerge as Krudel reveals that the leader of the group wears an ogre's helmet, an unsettling revelation that leaves Eren stunned. Karuto poses the question of whether this man defeated the orcs, speculating on the formidable power he must possess if he did. Meanwhile, Eren's thoughts race, recognizing the ominous significance of a man wearing an ogre's helmet, none other than Balti. Fueled by anger, Eren emits a crackling blue aura, alarming everyone present. In frustration, he demands further information from Krudel, only to be met with the revelation that communication with the Orc elders has been severed. Determined to take action, Eren declares their intention to journey to the Orc village. The scene shifts to the Ancona forest, where Balti stands victorious amidst defeated orcs. The scene transitions to a dimly lit room where Balti confers with the leader of the centaurs. He relays crucial information regarding Pendragon's resurgence, detailing their acquisition of the power of the White Dragon and their efforts in recruiting fresh troops and bolstering their arsenal. With a solemn gesture, Balti unveils a mirror, revealing a cloaked figure who, through the use of magic, has subjugated the centaurs under his control. Meanwhile, in the tranquil depths of the Orc forest, the young Orclings gather around Krudel, playfully engaging with him. Nearby, Killian and Karuto find themselves similarly enveloped in the playful antics of the Orc children. However, When one of the orc youngsters approaches Eren, they recoil in fear at the intensity of his angered expression and the palpable pressure of his aura. The child scurries away in fright, leaving Killian to ponder the cause of Eren's ire. Karuto explains to Killian that ever since Eren received the news from the Elder, his countenance has remained clouded with anger. Killian observes a flicker of something akin to a dragon's aura briefly manifesting behind Eren, prompting both him and Karuto to urge Eren to temper his emotions. On the flip side, even Isla's presence instills fear in the children. However, the atmosphere shifts when the elder of the orcs steps forward, expressing gratitude to Eren Pendragon for gracing the orc forest with his presence. Having caught sight of Soldrake, the revered guardian deity of the forest, the elder commands all the orcs to pay homage to the majestic creature. With solemn reverence, the orcs bow before Soldrake. Sensing the tension in the air, Sol intervenes, advising Eren that progress cannot be made if he remains consumed by anger. She urges him to find balance, cautioning that allowing anger to consume him could lead to his own downfall. With those words, Sol gracefully ascends to rest atop a nearby tree, leaving Eren to contemplate her wisdom. After exchanging pleasantries with the orc elder, Eren, accompanied by Karuto and Krudel, is invited to converse in private within the confines of the orc dwelling. Seated before the elder, Eren listens attentively as the elder reveals troubling news. A group of humans had infiltrated the forest undetected by the orcs' magical surveillance, only revealing themselves as they departed from the forest. A ripple of surprise courses through Krudel as he questions the elder orc about the breach in their magical barrier. With furrowed brows, Krudel probes further, speculating whether the humans were aided by a magician. However, the elder orc dispels this notion, revealing that the invaders consisted solely of soldiers and colossal wolves. Despite the absence of a mage, the elder orc remains convinced that some form of magic was involved, an unsettling revelation that weighs heavily on Krudel's mind. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, the elder orc recounts how their orc warriors were swiftly defeated by the human intruders, leaving Karuto visibly shaken. Eren's thoughts race as he pieces together the puzzle. He surmises that the mastermind behind the incursion must be none other than Valt, leading the feared Rakshasa unit into the heart of the forest. The elder orc's revelations take an unexpected turn as he discloses that the humans proceeded to seek an audience with the Centaur clan, an announcement that catches Eren off guard. Contemplating the intricate dynamics between the Pendragon house, the orcs, and the centaurs, Eren reflects on the complex history of their coexistence. It becomes evident to him that the centaurs, originally inhabitants of the Ancona forest, harbor resentment towards humans, a sentiment likely stemming from conflicts with the Pendragon house. Yet, the orcs, acting as a defensive buffer, have historically stood in opposition to the centaurs' aggression. The strained relationship between the centaurs and orcs becomes increasingly apparent to Eren, who recognizes both species as inherently belligerent and combative. Content to remain an outsider to their conflict, Eren opts to refrain from intervening, hoping for a peaceful resolution. However, his hopes are swiftly shattered when Killian bursts into the room, breathless with urgency. He delivers alarming news. The centaurs have launched an unexpected attack on humans. Rushing outside, Eren is met with a scene of chaos and confusion as centaur arrows rain down upon them. In a swift display of reflexes, Eren catches an arrow mid-air, only to find the unmistakable crest of the Empire emblazoned upon it. Shock courses through him, mingled with a rising tide of anger as he realizes the centaurs have allied themselves with the Empire. His dragon's aura ignites once more, a manifestation of his fury and determination. With a resolute expression, Eren issues orders to the Pendragon forces, commanding them to retaliate against the centaur aggressors. Faced with the unprovoked assault, he urges his soldiers to stand firm and prevent the centaurs from escaping. Eren dashes toward the centaurs with astonishing speed. Isla's eyes widen in surprise at the sight of him. The centaurs react by unleashing a volley of arrows, but Eren effortlessly deflects them. Isla and the mercenaries watch in disbelief as Eren's skill becomes apparent. Closing the distance, Eren strikes at one of the centaurs, only to find that his blow is met with unexpected resistance. the centaur retaliates, catching Eren off guard. Despite Eren's attempt to defend himself, the centaur remains unfazed. To Eren's bewilderment, the centaur accuses him of invading their forest with the intention of attacking and destroying them. The centaur reveals that Eren has been amassing military forces for this purpose, leaving Eren confused and surprised by the allegations. As the centaurs launch a coordinated strike, the orcs fighting alongside them struggle to comprehend the centaur's newfound strength. Crudel speculates that dark magic may be at play. The centaurs, ensnared by a sorcerer's dark magic, are being controlled against their will. The sorcerer manipulates their anger and fear, brainwashing them into relentless fighters who push past their physical limits. In the midst of battle, Killian moves to strike a centaur, but before he can, the centaur retaliates with a powerful kick to his stomach, sending him sprawling to the ground. The Pendragon forces find themselves overwhelmed by the ferocity of the centaur's strikes, with Eren still locked in combat against them. Desperate for aid, Eren implores Sol to join the fray, but Sol refuses, likening both orcs and centaurs to children and choosing not to intervene. Frustrated by Sol's stance, Eren's thoughts drift to Baltui. Suddenly, Eren spots a centaur poised to attack an orc child. Without hesitation, he rushes to the child's defense, saving them from harm. Surveying the chaos around him, Eren realizes that half of the Pendragon troops have been incapacitated, and the orc village is under relentless siege. Eren mounts his horse and addresses the centaurs, questioning their reputation as proud warriors. He disparages them, claiming they are no better than brute animals. Eren boldly declares that he alone can handle the centaurs, provoking their anger. In response, the centaurs launch a collective strike on Eren. Seizing the opportunity, Eren gallops toward the opposite side of the orc village, drawing the centaurs away from their target. Crudel observes Eren's strategy and explains to Karuto that Eren's intention is to lead the centaurs away from the vulnerable village. Karuto is incredulous at the idea of Eren facing so many centaurs alone, while Isla watches in astonishment. Meanwhile, Sol summons her griffin, which appears before Isla. Startled by the majestic creature, Isla looks to Sol for explanation. As the griffin approaches, Isla's demeanor shifts as he comprehends Sol's decision. At the mountain's edge, Eren finds himself confronted by a mass of centaurs blocking his path. Their leader acknowledges Eren's tactic of acting as a decoy to safeguard his forces, but warns that both Eren and his allies, including the orc village, will ultimately fall to the centaurs. Eren's actions are deemed foolish. In response, Eren defiantly asserts that it is the centaurs who are foolish, claiming he alone can handle them all. However, doubt gnaws at him as he ponders whether he can truly overcome the magically strengthened centaurs. As the centaurs charge towards him, arrows suddenly rain down from behind, felling several of them. Surprised, Eren turns to see Isla atop the griffin, wielding his bow. Questioning his presence, Eren learns that Isla remains true to his pledge, to stand as Eren's sword and vanquish his foes. Meanwhile, the centaurs are taken aback by the appearance of the divine griffin. Isla charges towards them atop his majestic mount, prompting the centaur leader to launch an arrow in his direction. Swiftly evading the attack, Isla retaliates with a flurry of arrows, swiftly dispatching several centaurs. Observing Isla's prowess, Eren recognizes him as a griffin rider, one who commands these revered creatures associated with the White Dragon. Riding a griffin requires immense skill and knowledge, obtained through ancient wisdom and extensive practice. Those who master this art through countless battles earn the esteemed title of Griffin Rider. Reflecting on Isla's abilities, Eren can't help but smile, recalling that in his previous life, Isla was known as Stormbringer. Seeing Isla live up to his reputation fills Eren with pride. As the centaurs are driven back, their leader orders a retreat. The centaur leader assesses the situation, believing that the dense forest will hinder any pursuit by the griffin. Determining that regrouping is their best course of action, he prepares to retreat. However, Eren intervenes by swiftly shooting an arrow that brings down the centaur leader. Approaching the fallen leader, Eren utilizes his shield to heal the centaur's wounds and break the hold of sorcery upon him. As the centaur leader regains his senses, he is astonished by Eren's unexpected act of kindness. Confused, he questions Eren's motives for aiding him. In response, Eren queries the centaur leader about the whereabouts of the man who provided the centaurs with their weapons, Valt of the Rakshasa unit. The centaur leader is taken aback by Eren's knowledge of Valt and inquiries about him. Eren asserts his authority, insisting that he will be the one asking the questions. Reluctantly, the centaur leader reveals that Valt appeared in the forest and proposed an alliance with the centaurs. He claimed that the Pendragons had regained the power of the White Dragon and were bolstering their forces and weaponry. Valt reveals to the centaurs his belief that the Pendragons will inevitably set their sights on both the centaurs and their forest. To preempt this threat, Valt urges the centaurs to seize control by defeating the orc village and reclaiming the Ancona forest themselves. Upon hearing this, Eren disputes the validity of Valt's claims, questioning how the centaurs could be so easily swayed by such obvious manipulation. The centaur leader suggests that they may have fallen under a spell, mentioning that Valt used a mirror to communicate with them, after which they were overcome with anger and lost their rationality. The leader admits to having fuzzy memories since that moment. Moved by the plight of the injured centaurs, Eren uses his shield to heal them. Isla, witnessing this act, expresses surprise. After tending to everyone, Eren reflects on the considerable drain on his mana caused by healing so many. Isla queries Eren about his decision to heal the centaurs, seeking understanding. Eren explains to Isla that the true enemies of the Pendragons are those who manipulated the centaurs. He acknowledges that even the predecessors of the Pendragons bear responsibility for the complex situation. The centaur leader interjects, noting that Eren, as a Pendragon, stands apart from his predecessors. Eren modestly acknowledges that he's been told this before. The centaur leader expresses belief in Eren's potential to be an exceptional ruler. He declares that from that moment forward, the centaur tribe will consider themselves friends of the Pendragons. Both Isla and Eren are taken aback by this unexpected declaration. The centaur leader assures Eren that they will aid the Pendragons in confronting the group that deceived the centaurs. He pledges the centaurs full cooperation with Eren as Pendragon. Turning to the other centaurs, the leader seeks their agreement, which they readily provide. Witnessing this unity, Eren assures the centaur leader that the Pendragons will also support the centaurs. The two groups forge an unexpected alliance, united in their determination to confront their common adversaries. Eren expresses his desire for the centaurs to safeguard the harmony of the forest as its strongest cavalry. With a handshake between Eren and the centaur leader, the conflict comes to an end, and peace returns to the Ancona forest. Eren, using the healing powers of the water spirit shield, tends to the soldiers' wounds, and they celebrate the newfound peace with a banquet. Later, Eren, the centaur leader, Crudel, and the orc leader sit together. Eren explains to the orc elder about the mirror and how it was used to ensnare the centaurs with a spell. The orc elder admits it's the first time he's heard of sorcery working through a mirror. Crudel warns the centaur leader of the dangers of such magic, expressing disbelief that someone could manipulate the emotions of so many centaurs. He labels the sorcerer a fearsome user of dark arts. In the following scene, Eren stands on a tree branch, deep in thought. Sol approaches him, noting his somber demeanor. Eren inquires if Sol was the one who provided Isla with the griffin. Sol confirms, mentioning that he sensed the griffin's aura emanating from Isla. Eren reveals that Isla used to be a griffin rider but avoids discussing it now for unknown reasons. Sol remarks on the complexity of human nature, expressing surprise that Eren didn't succumb to the dragon's aura when enraged. Reflecting on a past moment when he was enveloped by the dragon's aura, Eren contemplates the control over such power. Sol explains that those who form a pact with the White Dragon can harness its power within their bodies, but mastering that power is a personal challenge. Eren emphasizes the importance of not giving in to anger to progress. Inwardly, Eren ponders the discrepancies in his memories. Despite initially forgetting due to anger, he remembers being part of the Rakshasa unit in his previous life, which is currently engaged in battle against the Troll King in the distant southern region's Great Forest. As half of the Rakshasa unit falls in battle, Balti's presence in the same continent as the centaurs seems ludicrous to Eren. Reflecting on the events in the Great Forest and the confrontation with the Troll King, Eren's thoughts linger on Valt. Balti had once hinted at a connection between various events, including the decline of the Pendragon Duchy and the downfall of the Valt House. Eren wonders about Valt's whereabouts, recalling Balti's suggestion that everything was interconnected. Feeling a sense of urgency, Eren confides in Sol about his need to return to his hometown, where his family was branded as traitors. The scene transitions to the Sirad territory, where Count Sirad and Luna are taken aback by the sudden arrival of the Emperor's children, Prince Ian and Princess Ingrid. Prince Ian explains to Luna and Count Sirad that they've come for one reason: Eren Pendragon, the head of the neighboring Duchy of Pendragon. Ian describes the Eren he knows as weak, frail, and innocent, making it hard for him to believe that Eren, after awakening from a coma, could make a pact with the White Dragon. The focus then shifts to the Pendragon territory, where Eren receives the news of the impending visit of the Imperial Prince and Princess. The butler informs Eren that the second prince and his younger sister from the Imperial household are on their way. Perplexed, Eren questions the butler about their purpose for coming. The butler hesitates before revealing that Princess Ingrid is Eren Pendragon's former fiancée. Eren learns that Prince Ian was the one who ended his engagement with Princess Ingrid. This revelation surprises Eren, who hadn't realized he had previous fiancées before Sirad. He finds the situation troublesome, especially since a month has passed since the incident with the centaurs, during which the Pendragon forces have significantly bolstered their ranks with the addition of the Free Knights. Isla is busy forming a Griffin squad, and Eren's own dragon aura has strengthened, with him gaining better control over it. Normally, the Pendragon household takes a summer break each year, and Eren had planned to use this opportunity to investigate the connection between the destruction of the Valt House and the current schemes unfolding. However, just as he was about to do so, news of the Imperial children's visit disrupts his plans. Eren queries his butler about the reason for their visit, suspecting it may be related to marriage. Though uncertain, the butler advises Eren to tread carefully, warning him that the second prince, Ian, is considered a potential future emperor. Ian is renowned as a martial arts master feared throughout the imperial capital, earning him the moniker, the Tyrant. Eren expresses concern to his butler about inadvertently offending Ian. Curious about why the second prince is in line to become emperor, Eren queries his butler. The butler explains that the crown prince's health is failing, making Ian the likely successor. This news triggers a moment of reflection for Eren. Suddenly, he recalls that in his previous life's future, there was no Ian slated to become emperor. Instead, the future emperor's name was Jeffrey. Eren questions his butler about the crown prince's name, suspecting it might be Jeffrey. However, the butler clarifies that the current emperor's name is Cheyenne Aragon, and there's no record of a Jeffrey in the imperial lineage. This revelation surprises Eren. Jeffrey isn't even among the top princes of the empire. He's essentially a nobody. Eren ponders the significance of this discrepancy, considering that it might be linked to the altered course of history from his previous life. Eren channels his dragon aura through his hand, signaling to his butler that he now has a reason to meet Prince Ian Aragon. The scene shifts outside, where the two children of the imperial household have arrived in Pendragon territory. Ian begins to emanate his own aura, causing everyone around him to feel intimidated. Unfazed by Ian's aura, Eren strides confidently towards him. Ian, noticing Eren's approach, remarks on Eren's seemingly lofty demeanor. Eren retorts that Ian isn't yet the emperor, prompting frustration from Ian, who asserts his future as the emperor. In response, Eren calmly assures Ian that his ascension to the throne won't come to fruition. Ian is taken aback by this statement. Without hesitation, Eren begins to emanate his own dragon aura, signaling his resolve. Surprised, Eren realizes that only those with the bloodline of the first emperor can withstand Ian's aura of supreme authority. Ian, equally astonished, can't comprehend how Eren is able to resist his overwhelming aura. He deduces that Eren must possess the aura of the White Dragon. As tension mounts, Princess Ingrid intervenes, accompanied by Luna, urging her brother to cease his display of power. She doesn't want Ian to cause unnecessary trouble. Eren notes Ingrid's presence and wonders why Luna Sirad is with them. Princess Ingrid introduces herself to Eren, explaining that they were betrothed since birth and had never met in person before. However, she breaks into laughter suddenly, remarking on Luna's description of Eren as incredibly strong and handsome. Eren is taken aback by her words. Ian warns Ingrid against getting too familiar with Eren, but she ignores his caution, inviting Eren to accompany her on a tour of the castle. As Eren walks alongside Ingrid, he contemplates the unusual turn of events. Eren's mother, Selena, and his sister, Irene, along with Mia, welcome Prince Ian and Princess Ingrid to the Pendragon Palace. Ian engages in conversation with Irene, while Princess Ingrid converses with Selena. However, when Irene catches sight of her brother Eren, she rushes over to him, praising his radiant appearance. Ian is shocked to be ignored, and his frustration manifests in the form of his aura. Mia, frightened by Ian's aura, seeks refuge with Isla. Ian, perturbed by Isla's lack of recognition, questions him about his identity. Isla, unperturbed, refuses to provide a name. This refusal frustrates Ian, who perceives Isla's stubbornness as characteristic of knights from the southern region of Valvas. Ian challenges Isla to a duel, but Princess Ingrid intervenes, chastising Ian for causing trouble once again. She warns him that if he causes trouble a second time, she won't speak to him for a year. Ian couldn't ignore his sister's admonition. Soldiers from Sirad observe the situation, astonished that the tyrant Ian, who is feared in the imperial capital, seems to have lost control since coming to Pendragon territory. They marvel at the prowess of Pendragon. Ian requests a private conversation with Eren, indicating he has something important to discuss. He probes Eren, questioning if Eren is afraid. Eren reassures Ian, asserting that he also has matters to discuss. In a private room, Ian and Eren face each other. Ian remarks on Eren's transformation, recalling him as a frail figure in the past. He admits breaking off the engagement with Eren due to his perceived weakness. Eren challenges Ian's authority to make such a decision for his sister. Curious, Eren asks Ian why he came. He questions whether Ian intends to rekindle the engagement. Ian flatly denies the possibility, stating there's no way his sister would be engaged to Eren Pendragon. Ian confronts Eren, expressing his disillusionment with the loyalty of Eren Pendragon and the Valva's knight to the imperial family. He questions Eren's intentions. In response, Eren asserts that Pendragon does not stand in anyone's shadow and has responsibilities to fulfill. Suddenly, Ian attempts to strike Eren, but Eren reacts quickly, throwing water at Ian and elbowing him. Despite the blow, Ian remains resilient, seizing Eren's arm and slamming him onto a table. Eren counters by locking Ian's arm before the impact. As they both assess the situation, Eren notices a knife near Ian's hand and decides to step back. Surprised by Eren's retreat, Ian questions his motives. Eren suggests that Ian wasn't fighting seriously, as he could have easily countered Eren's technique with the knife. Eren then emanates his aura and poses his question to Ian once more. Eren questions Ian's motive for coming to Pendragon territory. Ian responds with laughter, acknowledging Eren's prowess and ability to push Ian to this point. Eren is perplexed by Ian's reaction. Ian suggests that Eren join forces with him, recognizing Eren's potential to become the cornerstone of the Empire as Eren Pendragon. Ian explains to Eren that he's extending the invitation because of Eren's military skills and sharp intellect. However, Eren observes that the tense atmosphere and Ian's imposing aura have dissipated. Curious, Eren asks Ian what he means by joining forces. Ian reveals that the imperial family is currently grappling with the issue of succession, with several princes and influential aristocrats vying for power behind the scenes. He wants Eren on his side in case of future difficulties. Ian offers Eren a significant position within the Empire, along with wealth, treasures, territories, or even the opportunity to establish an independent state. Hearing this, Eren reflects on Ian's reputation as a tyrant in the imperial capital, but considers that Ian's true nature might be different. He concludes that Ian may not actually aspire to become emperor. Ian is taken aback by Eren's response. Eren expresses his belief that Ian's tyrannical persona might be a facade. Despite the tempting rewards, Eren cannot accept an offer from someone whose true intentions are unknown. Ian is surprised that Eren has discerned his true nature to such an extent. He admits that Eren is the first person, aside from his sister, to understand his intentions. Ian reveals his desire for his brother, Cheyenne Aragon, to become emperor. Eren questions if Cheyenne is the crown prince who is currently bedridden. Frustrated, Ian explains that his brother was nearly assassinated 3 years ago during the treason incident in Sisek. This revelation shocks Eren. Ian describes his brother as kind and capable, believing he would have been an outstanding ruler. Cheyenne aspired to bring change to the empire. Eren recalls that 3 years ago, the Valt family was branded as traitors in Sisek. Then, Eren agrees to Ian's offer but requests in return that Ian divulge all the information he knows about the treason incident. The scene shifts to Selena and Irene informing Luna and Ingrid about Eren's wife, Lindsay, shocking both of them. Returning to Eren and Ian, Ian discloses everything he knows about the treason incident in Sisek. Eren recalls that during that time, he was aspiring to become a knight and was entrusted with a letter to deliver to the lords of Sisek, but there was a hidden agenda behind it. Ian poses the question of who could be the mastermind behind the treason. Eren speculates if there's another prince vying for the emperor's throne. Ian acknowledges the possibility but explains that there are numerous princes and associated aristocrats, making it difficult for him to keep track of them all. Eren then inquires if Ian knows of any prince named Aim Jeffrey. Ian informs Eren that Aim Jeffrey is the child of a concubine, holding only the title of Viscount without any real power. Eren realizes that Jeffrey does exist, but is merely a Viscount without influence. He ponders how someone like Jeffrey could ascend to the throne in just a few years. Curious, Eren asks Ian about the lineage of Jeffrey's mother. Ian is surprised to reveal that she hails from Sisek and struggles to believe that Jeffrey could be involved in such matters. Eren reflects on Balti's words about everything being interconnected. He then emits his dragon's aura, surprising Ian, who hadn't seen Eren use this power before. Ian wonders about Eren's true identity. Outside, Sol appears, startling Ian with his white dragon form. Sol transforms into human form and approaches Eren. Eren queries Sol about the situation, and Sol mentions sensing a powerful dragon aura. Ian, stunned by the sight of the white dragon in human form, smiles and decides to trust his instincts. Ian realizes that Eren is someone he can trust. Sol inquires if something is wrong, and Eren acknowledges that there have been some realizations. Eren proposes that Ian joins him and the others on their summer vacation. This surprises Ian. Eren explains that they will be traveling to the Silbul coast, near the outskirts of Sisek, where Eren plans to draw out their enemies. The scene unfolds in the bustling heart of Luz, the Empire's foremost commercial hub. Amidst the grandeur of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, whispers permeate the air, weaving tales of intrigue and alliances. As the citizens of Luz gather, murmurs spread of the unexpected convergence of Pendragon House and the infamous Prince Ian, tyrant of the imperial city, upon the nearby shores of Silbul Coast. Speculation runs rife as to the purpose behind their unusual alliance. In the midst of the fervent discussion, a man leans in to confide to his companion the overwhelming pace of life in Luz. He recounts rumors of the recent arrival of the absolute monarch of the south, the formidable sea dragon King Orangus, whose majestic vessel docked in Port mere days ago. His revelation elicits astonishment from his peers. With a knowing nod, the man elaborates on the potency of the Sea Dragon King's influence, particularly with the ferocious Viscula as its guardian dragon. It's whispered that Orangus wields a power that rivals even that of the Emperor, making it a formidable military force. Meanwhile, a figure named Vincent reassures his workers, assuring them that amidst the gathering of nobles, opportunities for their business to thrive will abound. Amidst this backdrop of intrigue and commerce, we catch glimpses of Karuto, Killian, and Isla traversing the labyrinthine streets of the city. Killian, perplexed by the sudden influx of activity, can't help but wonder what has turned Luz into such a bustling vacation destination. In a surprising turn of events, Killian finds himself taken aback by the unexpected appearance of Prince Ian alongside Eren. Karuto, however, dismisses the significance of their presence, instead focusing on the city's abundance of warriors. Eager for a challenge, Karuto expresses his anticipation for duels with these seasoned fighters. Suddenly, a group of orcs emerges into view, their brutish forms unmistakable to Killian's discerning eye. Identified as Ratuan orcs hailing from the southern territories, they are notorious as the fiercest orc tribe and notorious pirates. Spotting Karuto among the humans, the Ratuan orcs are taken aback, having never encountered his kind before. Their leader disparages Karuto's perceived weakness for associating with humans, provoking Karuto's ire and igniting his desire for confrontation. But Killian intervenes, recognizing the potential danger of a public altercation with the Ratuan orcs. Despite Karuto's frustration, Killian insists on restraint, wary of the repercussions of a skirmish amidst the onlookers. However, the Ratuan orcs persist in their disrespect, escalating tensions further. As Isla joins in, fueled by his own indignation, Killian feels the weight of responsibility settle heavily upon them. With two hot-headed companions to manage, Killian resolves to navigate the situation with caution and diplomacy, knowing that the delicate balance could easily tip into chaos. However, amidst the bustling commerce of the city, Killian can't shake the feeling of unease at the brazen presence of pirates openly wandering the streets. He senses that Luz, for all its outward prosperity, harbors secrets beneath its surface. The scene then shifts to the opulent residence of Governor Count Torio, where Count Segunda engages in conversation with Vincent. They discuss the unexpected arrival of Eren Pendragon, partner of the White Dragon, and Prince Ian Aragon, son of the Emperor, to the outskirts of Luz for vacation. Count Torio queries Vincent's thoughts on the matter, prompting Vincent to reveal that their visit extends beyond Luz to the Silbal coast of Sisek. Vincent speculates that Eren and Ian may be investigating the relationship between His Highness, Baron Allen, and Gauffre. If that's the case, Vincent suggests, Eren's involvement is likely tied to Ian's interests rather than any personal stake in Sisek affairs. Upon hearing Vincent's analysis, Count Torio concurs, acknowledging the absence of a direct connection between the Sisek affair and the Pendragon interests. He instructs Vincent to entrust the handling of this matter to a particular individual, the enigmatic figure who wields influence over both the pirates and the clandestine machinations of Luz, the Dark King. The scene transitions to the Pendragon residence, where Eren Pendragon sits in contemplation. Ian enters and joins him, and Eren wastes no time in divulging the true purpose behind their seemingly leisurely vacation, to unravel the mystery behind Cheyenne's assassination. Ian listens intently as Eren lays out his suspicions, mentioning the familial ties between Imperial Prince Jeffrey, Baroness Irlin, and Luz Governor Torio. Eren posits that if Governor Torio were indeed the mastermind, he would have made a move upon hearing of their presence in nearby Sisek, perhaps targeting Ian himself. Eren reassures Ian of his confidence in his resilience, knowing Ian to be a man of action rather than passivity. Ian, in turn, expresses his anticipation for the impending confrontation. As they strategize, Ian marvels at Eren's astuteness, pondering whether it's mere instinct or something deeper that drives him. Unbeknownst to Eren, Ian contemplates the depths of his partner's insight. The scene then shifts to a bustling restaurant in Luz. In a clandestine meeting, Vincent rendezvous with the Dragon King, their conversation shrouded in secrecy. The Dragon King inquires about the governor's directive, prompting Vincent to reveal the chilling order, to eliminate Eren and Ian. Upon hearing this, the Dragon King discerns Governor's deeper intentions, realizing his ambition extends to ensnaring the prince as well. Impressed by Vincent's composure and boldness, the Dragon King praises his demeanor, noting his fearlessness even in the presence of formidable beings like the Ratuan orcs and himself. The Dragon King expresses his admiration for strength, whether it resides in humans or orcs, relishing the prospect of a challenge. Vincent, undaunted, provides the Dragon King with pertinent details, including the upcoming invitation to the governor's residence in 3 days. With this information, the Dragon King exudes confidence, assured of his ability to dismantle Eren and Ian's plans. As their exchange continues, Vincent ventures a personal question, to which the Dragon King, intrigued, grants permission to ask. Vincent musters the courage to pose a question that has long lingered in his mind: whether the Dragon King is human. At the mere inquiry, the Dragon King's presence begins to radiate an overwhelming aura, stunning Vincent into silence. As Vincent reels from the sheer power emanating from the Dragon King, the enigmatic figure challenges him with a question of his own. Before Vincent can respond, he finds himself unexpectedly hoisted into the air, his world turned upside down. With a deft landing back on his feet, Vincent is astounded by his own agility, a feat that earns him praise from the Dragon King. In the wake of this display, the Dragon King turns his attention to the leader of the Ratuan orcs, issuing commands with a sense of anticipation. He reveals to the orc leader the prospect of facing a rare breed of orc in combat, igniting excitement within the ranks. With confidence, the Dragon King assures the orc leader that he will handle Eren Pendragon and Ian. Vincent, witnessing this display of power and authority, is struck by a realization. He is in the presence of a true monster. For the Dragon King is none other than Tolio Arangis, the second son of the head of one of the Empire's 5 great dukedoms. See Dragon King Arangis, a figure known as the King in the Shadows of Luz. A new day dawns upon Luz, heralding the arrival of an invitation from Governor Count Torio to a grand ball. Killian shares the news with the group, sparking excitement among them. Eren recognizes this as their long-awaited opportunity, while Ian silently acquiesces to Eren's plan, though harboring his own reservations. Meanwhile, Selena, Eren's mother, can't shake her unease at the mention of Count Torio's ball. Sensing her apprehension, Eren reassures her and insists she remain at the Pendragon residence for her safety. Selena, grateful for her son's concern, acquiesces and thanks him warmly. Eren then entrusts Duchess Selena to Sol, who promises to look after her. As the evening unfolds, the scene shifts to Governor Torio's opulent mansion, where nobles from far and wide have gathered for the extravagant ball. Eren arrives with his entourage, drawing the attention and admiration of all present. In a surprising turn, Karuto and Isla make their entrance, causing a stir among the nobles at the sight of an orc in their midst. Karuto, frustrated by the necessity of wearing armor, grapples with the discomfort of his attire amidst the grandeur of the occasion. Vincent strides into the scene, extending a warm welcome to the Pendragons and their companions. Making his way towards Eren, Vincent introduces himself as a knight in the service of Governor Segunda. Eren is taken aback by the intense aura emanating from Vincent's eyes, a telltale sign of a seasoned warrior. Intrigued by this revelation, Eren decides to observe Vincent further, sensing there's more to him than meets the eye. Vincent leads the group into the mansion, his steady pace and composed posture catching Ian's attention. Ian notes Vincent's unwavering demeanor, impressed by his poise amidst the bustling activity. As they enter the grand ballroom, Eren and his companions exchange pleasantries with the assembled nobility. Governor Torio steps forward, introducing himself as the ruler of Luz. Ian acknowledges their past acquaintance, noting the passing of 3 years and briefly mentioning the tumultuous events at the Imperial Castle. Count Torio extends his greetings to Princess Ingrid, further setting the stage for the evening's festivities. Count Torio extends his greetings to Irene before turning his attention to Eren Pendragon. Expressing his admiration, Count Torio acknowledges Eren's remarkable achievement in forming a pact with the White Dragon and commanding the loyalty of both orcs and griffins. He finds Eren's accomplishment truly astounding. However, Count Torio's curiosity shifts as he inquires about Duchess Selena's absence. Eren explains that Selena is unwell and resting at a separate villa. Count Torio offers to send his personal healers to attend to her, but Eren politely declines, citing potential complications in case of danger. Count Torio respects Eren's wishes and encourages him to enjoy the festivities without worry. Ian, ever vigilant, warns Eren to remain cautious, suspecting that Count Torio may have ulterior motives. Eren, intrigued, questions Ian about Knight Vincent's identity. Ian reveals that Vincent is Count Torio's most trusted knight, having distinguished himself since his arrival in Luz 2 years prior. Ian adds that there's speculation about Vincent handling all of Count Torio's affairs. Eren ponders the significance of Vincent's involvement in the Sisek incident. Despite their suspicions, Eren suggests they proceed with caution and adapt to the situation as it unfolds, maintaining their vigilance. Count Torio turns to Vincent, inquiring about his impressions of Eren Pendragon. Vincent recounts the moment Eren glimpsed his released aura but quickly looked away, interpreting it as a sign of fear. Count Torio dismisses Eren as just a youth in response. Vincent acknowledges Eren's companion as undoubtedly strong, though he admits he can't gauge the man's true strength without a fight. Internally, Vincent speculates that the man is likely a Valva's knight, known for their narrow-mindedness and boldness, which seems incongruous with his allegiance to Eren Pendragon. Count Torio entrusts Vincent with the knight's handling, while reinforcements deal with the remainder. He references the involvement of Tollio, the son of the Sea Dragon King, in handling Eren and Ian. Count Torio reminds Vincent of their previous encounter with Tollio. Vincent's mind drifts back to his encounter with the Dark King, Tollio, recalling the sheer power and ferocity he witnessed. He confides in Count Torio, emphasizing the unparalleled strength of the Dark King, asserting that victory against him seems impossible for mere humans. Count Torio, reassured by Vincent's assessment, sees it as a sign that their plans will proceed smoothly. Acknowledging Vincent's cunning and fierceness, Count Torio hints at grander schemes to come. He promises Vincent a position of great honor once their current operation concludes successfully. Vincent humbly protests, feeling unworthy of such accolades, but Count Torio insists, citing his own detachment from the impending events. As tension mounts within the mansion, the tranquility is shattered by the sound of breaking glass. Eren and the others are startled as the window shatters, revealing the unexpected intrusion of Tollio and his orc companions. Panic grips the mansion as the pirates infiltrate its halls. Tollio swiftly dispatches any noble who dares to confront him, commanding the orcs to subdue the remaining guests. Observing Tollio's actions, Vincent assures Count Torio that Tollio's ruthless efficiency will divert suspicion away from them. With a nod of agreement, Vincent prepares to execute his own part of the plan. Meanwhile, Luna, Irene, Lindsay, and Ingrid scramble up the stairs, only to find Tollio blocking their path like an ominous wall. The sight of the imposing figure leaves them stunned. Tollio locks eyes with Luna, declaring his intent to eliminate her first. But before he can strike, Eren steps forward, intercepting Tollio's blow with his sword. Relief washes over Lindsay and Irene as they witness Eren's intervention. Eren inquires after Luna's well-being, to which Luna responds with gratitude for his protection. Tollio, observing Eren's bold move, realizes that Eren Pendragon has taken the bait and exposed himself, playing right into their hands. At the foot of the staircase, Ian stands resolute, confronting Tollio head-on. With unwavering determination, Ian challenges Tollio's assumption that he only faces one opponent. Tollio's shock intensifies as Karuto and Isla step forward, ready to join the fray. Surprised by the unexpected show of solidarity, Tollio realizes that he's fallen into their trap. Despite the odds stacked against him, Tollio breaks into laughter, his confidence unshaken. Asserting his dominance, Tollio scoffs at the notion of facing multiple opponents, confident in his unrivaled strength and skill. Tollio, feeling the weight of 4 adversaries pressing down on him, calmly assesses the situation. He confides in Eren that the group is a tad cumbersome, prompting him to strategize. With a surge of mana coursing through him, he clenches his fists tightly and delivers a decisive blow to the very foundation beneath them. The stairs shatter, sending Eren tumbling into an unexpected separation from Ian. Meanwhile, as Isla and Karuto find themselves abruptly deposited onto the mansion's ground floor, Karuto bitterly notes Tollio's manipulation. Their disquiet is soon eclipsed by the ominous arrival of the Ratuan orcs. Karuto recognizes the menacing figures from a prior encounter at the market. Fueled by indignation, he vows to personally vanquish the orcs. With steely determination, both Isla and Karuto launch into a preemptive strike against their assailants. Returning to the upper level, Tollio stands tall, facing Ian with an air of calculated resolve. He assures Ian of his imminent attention before addressing the broader conflict below. Yet, Ian, undaunted by Tollio's display of power, offers a sobering reminder that strength alone does not guarantee victory in the heat of battle. Observing the intense exchange, Irene's concern for Prince Ian's well-being flickered momentarily across her features. Princess Ingrid, however, sought to assuage her worry with a reassurance born of familiarity. She reminded Irene of Ian's renowned prowess, revered throughout the imperial capital for his unmatched technique. Ingrid's confidence was unwavering. She had never witnessed Ian falter in combat. Ian wasted no time in demonstrating his mettle, launching a relentless strike against Tolio. Each strike carried the weight of his determination, yet Tolio met his onslaught with formidable defense. Irene and Ingrid watched in astonishment as Ian's swordsmanship unfolded before them, a display of skill that surpassed their expectations. Meanwhile, Eren's thoughts diverged from the prevailing optimism. Doubt crept into his mind, convinced that Ian was outmatched against Tolio's prowess. Amidst the clash of steel, Ian found himself in a peculiar state of detachment. He perceived Tolio's actions as mere parries, yet a sudden realization struck when Tolio pinpointed Ian's blade, rendering it immobile. Shock rippled through Irene and Ingrid as they witnessed Ian's predicament. Seizing the opportunity, Tolio moved in for the decisive strike, only to be intercepted by Eren's sudden intervention. With a swift maneuver, Eren attempted to thwart Tolio's advance, yet the agile foe evaded his attack with ease before retreating into the fray. As the battle intensified, Eren stepped forward to stand beside Ian, urging him to join forces against their formidable opponent. Tolio, taken aback by Eren's audacity, bore the evidence of a scratch inflicted by his unexpected assailant. It had been a rare occurrence for Tolio to face such resistance, prompting a contemplation of his strategy. Perhaps, Tolio mused, he should have prioritized Eren's threat over Ian's. With a calculated resolve, Tolio raised his shield, acknowledging the newfound challenge with a declaration of readiness. Both Ian and Eren were cautioned to give their utmost effort, for failure would not be tolerated. Tolio's ultimatum hung heavy in the air, a stark reminder of the stakes involved, including the safety of Irene and Ingrid. Meanwhile, on the lower level, Isla engaged in his own skirmish, swiftly dispatching a Ratuan orc before rushing to aid Eren on the second floor. However, his progress was impeded by the sudden appearance of a masked assailant. With a skillful grace, Isla evaded the masked man's initial strike, retaliating with a lightning-fast counterattack that disarmed his assailant. The masked knight, astonished by Isla's prowess, found himself at a loss in the face of his formidable strength. In the charged atmosphere, Isla's sharp perception cut through the veil of anonymity surrounding his masked opponent. Vincent, taken aback by Isla's swift recognition, was astonished that Isla could discern his identity with a mere glance. Isla's assertion revealed the keen memory of a Valva's knight, attuned to the unique aura of warriors encountered in the past. Vincent's initial shock transformed into a steely resolve as he accepted Isla's challenge. With a newfound sense of purpose, he invited Isla to engage in a serious bout, eager to settle their unresolved conflict. Without hesitation, Vincent launched himself forward, his blade meeting Isla's in a clash that reverberated with determination and intensity. Returning to the second floor, Ian confides in Eren, sharing his strategy to find a vulnerability in Tolio's defense. With conviction, Ian entrusts Eren with the crucial task of seizing the opportune moment. Eren, taken aback by Ian's unexpected proposal, remarks on the rarity of such humility from the typically confident prince. Nevertheless, Ian stands firm, recognizing Eren's superior strength and skill, evident even in their brief encounter with Tolio. Grateful for Ian's trust, Eren responds with a request for Ian's safety. Ian dismisses the concern, urging Eren to concentrate on the impending battle. Together, they charge towards Tolio, their synchronized movements a testament to their determination and unity. Meanwhile, Karuto finds himself occupied with the Ratuan orcs on the first floor, while Isla engages in a fierce duel with Vincent on the stairs. With their focus elsewhere, they remain unable to provide aid to Eren on the second floor. As Isla launches an attack against Vincent, the masked man showcases impressive agility, evading Isla's strike. In a swift countermove, Vincent retaliates with equal intensity. As tension mounted, Isla swiftly sidestepped Vincent's strike by dropping low to the ground. Capitalizing on the moment, Isla launched a counterattack from the crouched position. Yet, with astonishing agility, Vincent leaped into the air, narrowly avoiding Isla's strike and landing gracefully on the stairs. With a confident gaze, Vincent vowed not to allow Isla to proceed to the second floor. Meanwhile, on the second floor, Eren intercepted Tolio's strike with his swords. Sensing an opening, Ian moved to engage Tolio, but his strike was deflected by Tolio's shield. Now facing both Ian and Eren, Tolio taunted Eren, suggesting that their combined efforts were insufficient. Undeterred, Ian and Eren pressed forward, launching a coordinated attack. However, to their astonishment, Tolio effortlessly evaded their strikes, showcasing remarkable agility despite his imposing stature. Ian noted Tolio's surprising speed, recognizing the formidable challenge they faced. As Tolio moved to strike from behind Ian attempted to block the attack, but his sword shattered upon impact. With a smirk, Tolio declared Ian the first to fall. Turning his attention to Eren, Tolio prepared to face the next challenger. In a swift move, Ian seizes Tolio's arm, halting his impending strike towards Eren. With urgency in his voice, Ian commands Eren to capitalize on the opening. Eren, recognizing the opportunity, moves in to strike at Tolio. However, Tolio releases his sword and, with astonishing strength, hurls Ian into the air, inadvertently colliding with Eren mid-attack. Before Eren can react, Tolio swiftly strikes at his arm with his sword, sending Eren crashing into the wall. Ian, momentarily distracted by Eren's plight, finds himself vulnerable as Tolio swiftly strikes, sending him hurtling into a nearby table. Irene and Ingrid watch in shock as the two warriors are overpowered. From the stairs, Isla, witnessing Eren's downfall, is momentarily stunned. Vincent, seizing the opportunity, strikes at Isla, leaving a scratch on his face. With a stern tone, Vincent admonishes Isla for his distraction, igniting frustration within him. Meanwhile, on the second floor, Tolio relishes in his triumph, having successfully incapacitated both Eren and Ian. As Tolio looms menacingly, the women shrink back in fear, apprehensive of his formidable presence. However, to Tolio's surprise, Eren rises to his feet despite his injuries. Tolio is baffled by the resilience displayed by this mere mortal, doubting anyone's ability to withstand a direct blow from him. With a grave expression, Eren acknowledges Tolio's prowess in both skill and strength, conceding that Tolio appears to have no discernible weaknesses. Yet, with unwavering determination, Eren asserts that he has faced opponents of Tolio's caliber in the past. Tolio, intrigued, queries Eren about his claims, but Eren cryptically dismisses the notion, convinced that Tolio wouldn't comprehend the depths of his experiences. In his thoughts, Eren reflects on Tolio's strength, acknowledging it as formidable but ultimately pale in comparison to the adversary he once vanquished, the merciless Troll King, who had terrorized countless lives. Eren reminisces about his previous life, where his victory over the Troll King bestowed upon him his current immortal form. Tolio, witnessing Eren's resilience despite his supposed injuries, is taken aback. The sight of Eren effortlessly moving his supposedly injured right arm only adds to Tolio's astonishment, leaving him questioning the true extent of Eren's capabilities. Meanwhile, Ingrid turns to Irene, questioning whether there's any truth to Eren's cryptic claims. Irene, shaking her head, assures Ingrid that such events have never transpired with her brother before. Lindsay suggests they may have misunderstood, but Luna senses a shift in Eren's demeanor, pondering over the possibility of something changing within him. Returning to the duel, Tolio jests with Eren, urging him not to try to appear impressive. With relentless determination, Tolio charges at Eren with full force. Yet, Eren evades Tolio's strike with astonishing agility, sidestepping the attack effortlessly. Tolio is taken aback by Eren's nimbleness, baffled by his ability to move so swiftly despite his apparent injuries. As Eren retaliates with a strike of his own, Tolio swiftly blocks the attack with his shield before pushing Eren back. Regaining his balance, Eren is startled to find Tolio steadily advancing towards him. Unable to discern the position of Tolio's sword, Hidden behind his shield, Eren prepares for an incoming strike. Anticipating Tolio's move, Eren predicts the attack from the front and swiftly dodges, narrowly avoiding Tolio's blade. Tolio launches a flurry of strikes at Eren, but to his astonishment, Eren effortlessly dodges each one. Tolio, taken aback by Eren's agility, is left bewildered by his opponent's prowess. Undeterred, Eren reminds Tolio of his earlier claim, that he has faced and defeated adversaries of Tolio's caliber in the past. In Eren's mind, he ponders the seamless coordination between Tolio's shield and sword, recognizing it as the hallmark technique of the Ratuan swordsmanship. Ratuan, once an ancient dwarven city perched upon the sea, fell to Orcish conquest decades ago, evolving into the largest orc kingdom in the empire. The orcs, blending the sturdy dwarven shields with their own throwing techniques, forged the formidable Ratuan technique. Eren draws a parallel between this technique and the one employed by Isla in a previous encounter, solidifying his suspicions. Considering Tolio's proficiency in both northern and southern martial arts, Eren speculates on Tolio's origins. He surmises that Tolio could either be a renowned warrior from the south or perhaps even an illegitimate child of a noble, born of both Orcish and human lineage. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Tolio observes Eren with a mixture of surprise and suspicion. Eren's remarkable ability to regenerate and his adept reaction to the Ratuan technique leaves Tolio perplexed. Tolio reflects on the devastation he wrought upon opponents using the Ratuan technique, swiftly overpowering them with its swift and devastating strikes. Puzzled by Eren's apparent familiarity with the technique, Tolio questions whether Eren has faced it before. Tolio grapples with the notion that Eren possesses such experience against the Ratuan technique, despite Tolio's belief in his own superiority in both strength and skill. However, Tolio senses a subtle yet distinct difference in Eren's demeanor. With Ian incapacitated and the possibility of Eren's allies joining the fray looming, Tolio realizes the precariousness of the situation. For the sake of his father, the Sea Dragon King's ambition, Tolio knows he must swiftly neutralize Eren Pendragon. Turning his attention back to Eren, Tolio acknowledges Eren's proficiency in evasion with a wry comment. With deliberate intent, Tolio makes a beeline for Ian, prompting a shocked reaction from Eren as he watches Tolio's unexpected move towards his fallen comrade. As Tolio moves to seize Ian, the prince seizes the moment, delivering a swift punch to Tolio's eye. Before Tolio can retaliate, Eren swoops in from behind, his aura sword ablaze with power, delivering a powerful strike at Tolio with all his might. Tolio's agility proved paramount as he swiftly evaded Eren's strike, leaving Ian astonished at his opponent's timing. Undeterred, Eren attempts to immobilize Tolio with an arm lock, employing a technique similar to what Tolio used on Ian. However, to Tolio's disbelief, Eren successfully applies the hold, surprising both himself and Tolio. Meanwhile, on the stairs, Isla and Vincent engage in a fierce battle. With a powerful strike, Isla shatters Vincent's sword, prompting him to realize the limitations of his weapon in direct combat. Vincent attempts to conceal a tattoo on his arm, but Isla keenly spots it. Suddenly, a distant scream pierces the air, leaving Vincent shocked at the thought of Eren Pendragon besting Tolio. Conversely, Isla is filled with excitement at the news. Descending to the first floor, Karuto stands victorious over the defeated Ratuan orcs, leaving Vincent stunned by the unexpected outcome of the battle. Vincent's mind races with uncertainty as he observes the unfolding chaos. With a sense of unease creeping in, he makes the decision to retreat, leaving the scene behind. Meanwhile, Isla wastes no time, swiftly ascending to the second floor to join the fray. On the second floor, Tolio, nursing an injured arm, stands defiantly with his shield raised against Eren. Eren confidently remarks on the reversal of fortunes, frustrating Tolio. However, before the tension can escalate further, Isla and Karuto arrive on the scene, much to Eren's relief. Tolio, seizing the opportunity, hurls his shield towards Ian, but Eren intercepts it, preventing any harm. With resolve in his voice, Tolio positions himself by the nearest window, issuing a challenge to Eren for a future rematch. With a whistle, he summons a griffin, swiftly making his escape. Karuto, filled with frustration at Tolio's evasion, watches as the griffin disappears into the distance. However, Eren reassures them, revealing that he had managed to injure Tolio's right arm and eye, so Tolio won't come back for some time. Isla then shares the recent encounter with Vincent, underscoring the lingering danger they face. Karuto and Eren exchange shocked glances upon hearing Isla's revelation. Ian's mind races as he contemplates the possibility of Count Segunda orchestrating the attack beforehand. Eren acknowledges Ian's suspicion but cautions that it may not be enough to prove Count Segunda's involvement definitively. Nevertheless, he turns to Isla, seeking insight into Vincent's strength. Isla recounts their battle, emphasizing Vincent's formidable skill and noting a distinctive tower tattoo on his shoulder, leaving Eren stunned by the revelation. Meanwhile, at the Pendragon residence, Lady Selena and Mina enjoy a peaceful moment until Lady Selena's gaze is drawn to the sky, where she spots orcs riding griffins approaching their home, filling her with shock and dread. In the forest, Tolio rides his griffin, only to be confronted by Count Segunda. Frustrated, Count Segunda admonishes Tolio for his failure to not only destroy his mansion, but also for his inability to eliminate their targets. Tolio confronts Count Segunda, revealing the extent of the injuries inflicted upon Ian. With a calculated demeanor, Tolio announces his intention to utilize the witch doctor he brought from the south to complete their sinister plan. Count Segunda is taken aback by this unexpected turn of events as Tolio lays out the details of their scheme. Tolio explains that the orcs sent to kidnap Lady Selena, Eren's mother, are accompanied by the witch doctor, whose expertise lies in brainwashing and elimination. Tolio asserts that had the witch doctor been present at the mansion, dealing with Eren and Ian would have been a simple task. Count Segunda's fear grows as he realizes the magnitude of Tolio's actions. Suddenly, without warning, Tolio strikes Count Segunda, injuring his leg. Tolio justifies the action as a precautionary measure to divert suspicion away from Count Segunda. With his task accomplished, Tolio departs from the scene. Meanwhile, at the Pendragon residence, Soldrake griffins engage in a fierce battle with the invading orcs and their mounts. On the battlefield, Killian and the other Pendragon forces engage the invading orcs with impressive skill and coordination. Observing Killian's prowess, the Free Knights are in awe of his abilities. Killian himself acknowledges the effectiveness of the Crutal strength-enhancing spell, finding it both potent and sustainable. Meanwhile, Crutal has cast an enhancing spell on both the Griffins and the Pendragon forces, boosting their combat capabilities. In the depths of the forest, two knights observe the ongoing battle through a crystal sphere. The witch doctor, accompanying them, explains that the Pendragon force's success is attributed to the strengthening spell. The witch doctor confidently asserts that while there may be a master-level magician among the Pendragon forces, they pale in comparison to his own strength. The knights are stunned by the aura exuded by the witch doctor as he speaks. Using the crystal sphere, the witch doctor locates Lady Selena's position and devises a plan to capitalize on the distraction caused by the pirates to execute her kidnapping. In a tense moment, Lady Selena, accompanied by Mina, Kazal, and Tata, huddles fearfully in a room, seeking refuge from the chaos outside. Suddenly, to Lady Selena's astonishment, the thick metal door before them begins to melt away, revealing the imposing figure of the witch doctor accompanied by a few knights. With a commanding presence, the witch doctor instructs Lady Selena to step forward and accompany them. Showing courage in the face of danger, Lady Selena complies, urging the witch doctor to spare the others from harm. Using his magical ropes, the witch doctor binds Lady Selena, preparing to take her away. However, just as the knights move to escort Lady Selena, Sol emerges from the shadows with lightning speed, dispatching the knights with a single strike. The witch doctor is left dumbfounded by Sol's sudden intervention, recognizing her as something other than human. With gems adorning her forehead and wings sprouting from her back, Sol conjures a radiant sword from thin air, confirming the witch doctor's suspicions that she is the legendary White Dragon. Before the witch doctor can react, Sol swiftly incapacitates him with another decisive blow, ensuring Lady Selena's safety. Later that night, Isla was driving the carriage, and inside, Ingrid asked Ian if he was all right as she healed him using Eren's shield. Ian replied that he felt much better and that the healing shield truly worked wonders. Ian then asked Eren about his condition, noting that despite being beaten to a pulp by the monster Tolio, Eren had still managed to stand up and fight immediately. Eren explained that it was the power of the White Dragon. Hearing this, Ian remarked that he needed to thank the White Dragon. Meanwhile, Luna wondered if that was really the case. At the Pendragon house, the Griffins and Killian, with the help of orcs, had defeated the Ratuan orcs' army. Everyone began celebrating the Pendragon army's victory. Seeing them, Krudel couldn't help but laugh. On the terrace, Selena, Eren's mother, thanked Sol for saving her and the others. Sol told her that Eren had asked her to take care of his mother while he was gone, and that was all. Selena didn't seem to understand what Sol was saying, but she told Sol that what she protected wasn't the Pendragon house, but the head of the family with whom Sol had made the pact. Selena was aware of that. She stated that before her husband Gordon was alive, she had only seen the White Dragon turn into its human form once. When she saw the beautiful dragon, stronger than anyone else, staring into her husband's eyes, Selena felt jealous. However, when Sol looked into her son Eren's eyes, the look in Sol's eyes was one of nostalgia, an almost painful longing for a distant past. Selena said that she understood now and asked Sol to keep protecting her son Eren. She admitted that she knew Eren might not be her son, but she was his mother regardless. Just because Eren seemed different, or even if it was another person inside, deep down, she loved him. Crying, she expressed this heartfelt sentiment. Seeing this, Sol also admitted that she couldn't understand what Selena was trying to say, but Sol states that Rey, it's the name Sol gave Eren, is Raven Valt and Eren Pendragon, and through Rey, Sol can see Alex. Sol might end up loving Rey more than any of her previous pact partners. At that moment, Eren, Lindsay, and Irene rushed to check on their mother. Worried, Eren asked if she was all right, having heard they were attacked by orcs. Selena replied that she was fine, thanks to Soldrake, and asked if Eren and the others were all right. Eren assured her that they were completely fine and nothing had happened. Selena expressed her relief that Eren was okay, hugged him, and thanked him. She then hugged Irene, who asked what had happened. Later, after they went inside the house and said goodnight to Eren, he hugged Lindsay and told her goodnight as well. On the other hand, Luna approached Eren and stated that she had something important to discuss with him and wanted to talk about it now. As they walked outside, Eren asked Luna what she wanted to talk about. Luna told Eren that perhaps if she hadn't brought up the divorce at that time, she might have become his wife. Eren remained silent. Luna expressed her regret for initiating the divorce, especially after seeing how Eren had changed so drastically from his previous self. However, since the divorce was a family decision, Luna felt there was no way around it and gave up. During their trip to the mausoleum and throughout the journey, Luna had kept watching Eren as he protected her. This feeling probably wouldn't change, and even now, thinking about it, she told Eren that she loved him. Eren replied that he didn't feel the same way. Surprised, Luna said she understood, acknowledging that she had treated Eren harshly before and had only gotten closer to him once he succeeded. Luna admitted that she hadn't considered it from this perspective. Eren told Luna that she was wrong. It wasn't about that. He further explained that he never hated Luna nor thought she was a despicable woman, but in his current life, he had no room for real feelings. Just like a piece on a chessboard, moving as Eren had been told to, there was no place for feelings in his heart. Eren would have said the same to anyone trying to court him. He apologized to Luna and told her to go and rest for the night. Meanwhile, Ingrid had been watching them from the bushes. Eren told Ingrid to do the same and rest. As he left, Eren thought to himself that he couldn't just leave things as they were, so he would definitely have to go to his hometown, Sisek. The scene then shifted to the next day at the Luge Chamber of Commerce, where people were discussing the recent events. They talked about how the Latuan orcs had caused a scene by barging into the governor's ball, killing the attending nobles, and seriously injuring the governor. One person noted that the astonishing thing was that those fierce Latuan orcs were dealt with by the Pendragons, who had been suddenly invited to the ball. The Pendragon knights had turned the tables and defeated the orcs. At the next table, Vincent was sitting and overhearing the conversation. He thought to himself that all those Latuan orcs were dealt with by just that one Arcona orc, and the one who fought against Vincent was a Valva's knight. Tolio Orangus, the Dark King, a monster said to be unmatched in the south, even made Vincent feel like he couldn't win against him. At that moment, a servant came in and informed Vincent that an incredible opportunity had arisen. Eren Pendragon was here. Vincent was shocked to hear this. The scene shifts to Vincent's room, where Eren comments on how extravagant it is. Eren notes that with such facilities, a small or medium business wouldn't be able to afford to maintain them, implying that Vincent must be making a lot of money. Vincent appears frustrated seeing Eren Pendragon in his office. Eren continues, stating that Governor Segunda significantly developed the economy of Luz, which means the governor must have had a fantastic subordinate. At that moment, Vincent wastes no time and attempts to kick Eren, but Eren barely dodges it. Vincent then tries to punch Eren, but Eren blocks the punch as well. Vincent starts throwing a barrage of punches, but to his surprise, Eren grabs Vincent's hand and comments that he expected nothing less from the sly fox who fought evenly with Isla. Vincent retorts that Eren is the sly one, as he pretended to be afraid of Vincent's aura flow. Vincent acknowledges that since Eren dealt with the Dark King, he is certainly strong, but warns Eren that if he thinks it will be easy to kill Vincent, he is mistaken. Then Vincent begins to release his aura and states that in this world, he still has things he must do. Hearing this, Eren remarks that with the power of the Chamber of Commerce, Vincent aims to reduce economic disparities within the Empire and develop it further. Vincent is shocked to hear this. Eren then tells Vincent that he is mistaken. Eren is not there to capture him, but to buy his services. He addresses Vincent as the Master of the Tower of Dusk, Ron Vincent. Vincent is stunned. Eren reflects that although Vincent is a common name, he didn't initially realize the significance. However, from Isla's report, he knew that the man had a tower tattoo on his shoulder, the mark of the Tower of Dusk. Little is known about the Tower of Dusk, but two things are certain. Its members bear a tattoo of a tower, and its talented members excel in various fields, referring to their leader as master. Furthermore, they are committed to the betterment of the world. They preach that they must walk the path of justice. Eren had heard stories about them in his previous life in the demon unit. Eren tells Vincent that Vincent's first goal is to strengthen the foundation of Luz and seize control of all the Empire's coastal cities. Through this Chamber of Commerce, Vincent aims to gather the power of small and medium merchants and use their collective interests to pressure the big merchants and nobles, disrupting their main source of income and preventing them from becoming too powerful. Vincent is stunned to hear this and wonders how Eren knew about his plan, as he had never revealed the nature of his plans to anyone. Eren thinks that Vincent's plan is to eliminate economic disparities in the Empire and that he has something significant in mind. Known as the Gray Afterflow of the Sunset, Ron Vincent was a name that spread far in Eren's previous life. Vincent is one of the heroes. Eren then questions Vincent, saying he doesn't understand why someone of Vincent's caliber is working under someone like Count Segunda. Vincent was left speechless for a moment before replying. He said that Governor Segunda is not incompetent, as the governor was willing to work with him without caring about his social status and skillfully used Vincent to develop Luz's economy. As a result, the population was able to achieve prosperity. However, Eren continued, stating that due to those profits, the governor planned to take down Eren and Ian, and perhaps even the imperial prince, Shaun. Vincent asked what about it, surprising Eren with his reaction. Vincent then elaborated that the noble idiots and the imperial family are always in a struggle for influence and power. No matter who wins or dies, it doesn't matter to him, because his objective is to bring wealth and safety to everyone. That is all. Besides, all nobles are more or less like Count Segunda. With a smile, Eren asked if he, Eren Pendragon, was also like Segunda. Vincent replied that he still didn't know. Eren then invited Vincent to come to the Pendragon territory and find out. Eren offered to treat Vincent as a house guest, allowing him to make his own judgment. If Vincent believed it was in the best interest of the people, he could attempt to cut off the Pendragon's income or even try to kill Eren. He was free to do as he pleased. Vincent pondered for a moment before replying. He asked should Eren take him as an ally, and if Eren intended to expose all of Count Segunda's schemes. That was what Eren was counting on. Eren confirmed that was indeed part of his plan. Vincent agreed to cooperate with Eren and stated that he would try to do so. Eren expressed that he looked forward to it. The scene shifts to later that night at the house, where Eren asks Ian if his injuries are all right now. Ian replies that he is fine, attributing his recovery to the healing shield. He reflects on the harrowing adventure and mentions that Ingrid will be scarred for life. Ian then tells Eren that he will never allow Eren to have his sister. Eren responds that if that is their decision, so be it, and he will leave the matter to Ian. Ian asks if they will go to Sisek now. Eren explains that they need to continue their investigations and will bring Isla and Sol along this time. Ian questions whether 3 people will be sufficient, given that they do not know what their enemies are planning. Eren reassures Ian that he has seen the strength of both Eren and Isla at the governor's mansion, and that the last one is even stronger than both of them. Ian smiles and notes that Sol is, after all, a dragon in human form. He then asks Eren what kind of monster they faced at the governor's mansion, the leader of the pirates. Ian further states that while fighting both opponents simultaneously, Tolio did not fall behind, clearly indicating that Tolio was not an ordinary human. Eren replies that Tolio was probably a half-orc and was also well-versed in southern fighting techniques. Ian mentions that after Count Segunda, there is an even bigger enemy behind the incident. However, Eren reassures Ian that it is comforting to have him as a comrade. Ian is surprised to hear this. Eren explains that, during the battle against the monster Tolio, he probably would not have survived without Ian's help. Ian seems like he can't take a compliment. Ian then asks Eren if he is injured or if he sustained damage from his fight against the pirate leader. Ian states that they will be departing the next morning and also need to search for Godfrey in the Imperial Castle. Hearing this, Eren thinks that Godfrey is the man who is likely to become emperor in the future. Eren tells Ian not to be careless, as their enemies are everywhere. Ian advises Eren to be careful as well. The scene shifts to the next day, where Ian, Luna, and Ingrid are leaving, and the Pendragons are saying their goodbyes. We then see Vincent departing from Luz on horseback, seemingly heading toward Pendragon territory. Later that night, the scene shifts to the governor's room. Injured and worried, Segunda wonders what he should do next. Ian has left for the Imperial Castle. The assassination attempt failed, and the governor was unable to capture Selena. Additionally, Vincent has disappeared. Frustrated, Segunda reflects on how things could have gone so wrong, as he needs to make Godfrey the crown prince as soon as possible. Segunda realizes that if people from the Imperial Castle come here searching for clues about the assassination attempt on Prince Shaun, and if they travel to Sisek to search for evidence related to the incident, the promised future for Governor Segunda could change. He concludes that he needs to contact them. The scene shifts to Sisek, where 2 men are fleeing from the Griffins. As the Griffins were about to catch the 2 men, a few arrows suddenly flew their way, easily taking down the Griffins. On a nearby cliff, 3 figures were visible, with Isla being the archer who had fired the arrows. Suddenly, one of the Griffins appeared in front of them, preparing to attack. Eren, in disguise, charged forward and took down the Griffin with a single strike. The 2 men, startled, feared that they were dealing with mercenaries and worried about provoking them. However, Eren then prepared to leave. One of the men, still surprised, asked Eren if he was not going to take any money for his help. Eren replied that there was no need, as he was merely testing his blade. When asked for his name, Eren introduced himself as Raven, though he is actually Eren. Eren then called Isla and Sol to come down, indicating that they should move forward. The scene shifts to a restaurant in Sisek, where the trio is seated. The waitress approaches and asks if they are ready to order. Eren drops some golden coins and instructs her to bring 2 drinks, herb-roasted chicken, smoked chicken, and the famous rice dish from the region. As the food arrives, Isla tastes the rice and remarks that he hasn't had rice since leaving the south. Eren explains that Sisek has many mountains, which are not suitable for wheat farming. Instead, due to the frequent rain, terraced rice fields are constructed in the mountains to grow rice. Isla then asks Eren how he knows so much about Sisek. Eren responds that he has his reasons. As people begin to fight in the restaurant, Eren reflects that mercenaries and monsters roam these infertile mountains, the cursed land of Sisek. It earned this name 10 years ago when the feudal lord of Sisek, Count Brescia, paid a substantial sum to purchase the lordship from the empire. Consequently, the imperial army that had previously governed the land withdrew. Count Brescia, who had spent most of his fortune purchasing estates, was unable to defend his land. Bandits and monsters poured in, causing public order in Sisek to collapse. The villagers, unable to rely on their lord, began hiring mercenaries with the little money they had. Meanwhile, the Valt house trained true-born soldiers and worked to ensure the safety of the people until they were eventually overpowered. Eren, frustrated by the downfall of his family, reflects on this. Suddenly, a man crashes into Eren's table, causing their food to fall to the ground. Isla looks stunned by the incident. The woman who threw the man onto the table, clearly frustrated, scolds him for becoming overly familiar with her. Angered, the man draws a dagger and prepares to attack the woman. Before he can do so, Isla steps forward and forces the man's face into the ground, his anger fueled by the waste of his favorite rice. A brown-haired man then approaches Eren and apologizes for the disturbance. As his comrade is a bit violent, the man states that he will treat Eren and the others to a meal. They sit together, and the brown-haired man introduces himself as Jonathan, and the next to him is named Gus, while the woman's name is Scylla. Jonathan then asks Eren to introduce himself. Eren questions whether he needs to provide his name, but Jonathan insists that it would be fine for Eren to share it, given that they are all mercenaries. Eren introduces himself as Raven. Jonathan comments that Raven seems like an unusual name, likening it to a crow, and expresses skepticism about its authenticity. Eren then mentions that his comrades are Isla and Sol, who are siblings, and adds that Sol is his wife. Jonathan notes that this makes them a mercenary family, which he finds quite unusual. He then inquires whether they are in Sisek to hunt down monsters. He explains that monsters are rampant in Sisek due to the feudal lord's misrule, leaving both villagers and nobles at a loss for solutions. Jonathan points out that, given the high demand and payment for mercenaries, there is no better place for them to be. Scylla, noticing Isla's appearance, comments that he looks very handsome and exactly to her taste. She then suggests that they should come along with her and Jonathan. Jonathan tells Eren to disregard Scylla's behavior, as she often acts this way. Eren responds that it's fine and proceeds to ask Jonathan about the nobles recruiting mercenaries. Eren inquires if Lord Ruv Tylon is also recruiting, which surprises Jonathan. Observing Jonathan's reaction, Eren wonders about his surprise. Jonathan confirms that indeed, he and his comrades were actually planning to go to Tylon's mansion, as Tylon is known to offer good pay. Eren then tells Isla and Sol to prepare, as they will be heading to Tylon's mansion with Jonathan.